The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93X.
I went back home to San Francisco, and I pondered what I wanted to do with my life. And then the phone rang. Billy Sheehan. Changed my life completely. And him and I together started Mr. Big. We didn't have anybody. And then Billy found Paul. Pat came in for an audition. 8 days later, we wrote our first album. And then we got on a tour bus for almost 13 years.
When I first heard your name, I went like, who made that up, Mr. Big? Could you tell us?
Big?
Yeah, who made that up?
Actually, our drummer, Pat Torpy, thought of the name. He was looking through his rock and roll records, and he came across a band called Free. And I think on one of those albums was a song, an obscure song called Mr. Big. And coincidentally enough, Billy played it in a bass solo when he was younger days.
A long time ago.
So it just stuck with us.
To Be With You, when you guys had that song, were you going like, we're sure this is a hit?
Absolutely not. No.
No? Are you just saying that to be modest?
No. It's the truth. Disc jockey in Lincoln, Nebraska, in the United States, decided to play the song, and it took off. The phone lines lit up, and the requests, and it sold out everywhere. And we didn't even know about it initially. Pretty soon, it just took off across the whole country, and there was no big ad campaigns or promotion or anything. It was completely on its own. And we wish we could take credit for this brilliant decision, but we had nothing to do with it, actually.
Showtime.
Welcome to the Half-Ass Morning Show. Good morning. Thanks for listening. It's kind of like an F-off day when one of your favorite bands comes to town.
It is. First time I've ever seen them. One of my all-time favorite bands. Never had a chance to see them. They broke up before I had a chance to, and very excited about this evening. And I'm excited to spend it with you, Nick, as always.
Well, I'll be damned if that isn't the nicest thing anyone said to me.
They've got a couple of ballads I'm hoping you and I can snuggle up to.
At least hold hands. Yeah, it's kind of like an F-off day for me and Cubby. Like I said, when one of your favorite bands comes to town, there's a good vibe, especially when it's a rare occasion to see that band play round these parts, and knowing that it's likely the last time they come to town. And I'm not talking one of these Kiss, Motley Crue, Ozzy Osbourne kind of last times. I'm talking about a real possibility that they're calling the tour the Don't Tell Me I Had It and I Lost It.
That's what I was just going to say.
The Big Finish.
The Big Finish, and I believe it. I believe this will be it.
Yeah, so do I.
Do you guys have any nice dinner plans? Are you going to a fancy candlelight dinner?
I don't know where we're going, but yes, we're going to be my stepson is going to shuttle us to and from. It's about time the kids started paying us back for everything we did for them.
Is that all worth it now?
And so, we're going to go out to dinner with them.
Oh, that's nice.
We didn't have any plans together, Josh and I, if that's what you were asking.
Yeah.
Is that what you were asking?
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
so Cam, he asked, hey, do you think Nick would want to go? And I said, absolutely not. They'll be coming from the west. Maybe they'll stop at a bar. But, yeah, they're not going to want to get dinner.
I got a couple of buddies coming with me on my end, so nice thought, Ashley.
Just push them aside.
It's a nice thought. Who am I pushing aside?
All your friends, everybody else you guys are going with, and just meet somewhere romantic.
Just make it about me and Josh?
Yes, go to the melting pot, get some fondue.
Nick is not fondue. No thanks. I don't. Nick is not a go-to-dinner guy. You've met him before, right?
Yeah, that's true. I couldn't imagine you going to a place where you have to it's like you actually get brought your food in something other than a basket.
I just meant he's not like and he's definitely not a go-to-lunch guy.
He's definitely not.
Not a go-to-lunch guy. No, not at all. But I will be your daddy, your brother, your lover, and your little boy. As you probably heard us mention before, one of our favorite acts, and one of the grossly overlooked rock bands of the last 35 years. Mr. Big plays in town tonight. Grossly overlooked. God dang it, wait a minute, Josh.
What?
Because we've talked about this on and off over the years. How disrespected Mr. Big has been
It's from people who have heard one song.
Right. What was the documentary we were watching? You watched it, and then you turned me on to watching it. Was it the Dave Sabo talking about the tough days? What is that documentary called again? It was Dave Sabo from Skid Row and a couple other guys just talking about how they made it in the business and the good times and the bad times.
I Want to Rock the 80s Metal Dream.
Yeah. That was 6 months ago.
Very good. And Dave Sabo he can tell a story.
Yeah, who are we missing? Oh, Kip Winger.
Yep, Kip Winger was awesome, too. Boy, did I feel bad for Kip Winger.
Dave Sabo, Kip Winger, Dee Snider?
Dee Snider was a part of it.
Okay, so it was these 3 artists and maybe more that we're forgetting, talking about, like I just said, how they got cooking in the rock world, the great times, the horrible times, and where they are today. And, you know, like I said, Josh and I have talked a lot on this program about how we feel, you know, Mr. Big, just for whatever reason, the timing, whatever it was, they never got, I think, the respect that they deserved and the accolades that they deserved in general from the hard rock community. Sure, they
at least in America.
Not in America.
And we joke about Japan, but it's true. When they started this tour, the Big Finish tour in July and August, they sold out, and we joke about this all the time. They did sell out Budokan 11 shows in a row. Well, I'm not joking. You think we're exaggerating?
Right.
It's the truth.
Crazy.
At the beginning of this tour, they sold it out 11 times in a row.
So, you know, yes, they had the big hit single, To Be With You. Other than that, you know, we just always felt like they deserved more. In that documentary, this aggravated me. I think you'll probably remember me mentioning this, Josh. In that documentary, what was it called? I Want to Rock? Mm-hmm. Remember and you'll see this played out in any documentary about any hair band or 80s metal band. In that documentary, they talked about in the early 90s, the downfall with Here Comes Nirvana and Pearl Jam, and also just the hard rock world was so oversaturated with garbage bands like Bang Tango and Trickster and Firehouse and Saigon Kick and Nelson, right? Remember that part in the documentary? They're scrolling through pictures of these garbage bands.
And this was infuriating.
Yeah, okay, and they say, here's part of why the scene died, and they show Vixen and Saigon Kick, and then they showed a picture of Mr. Big, and I jumped out of my chair and I said, come on! They don't belong being lumped in with that group of sumbitches.
Medical Device Jesus said, I think Mr. Big never got popular, mostly because of how nasty a person their guitar player Paul Gilbert is. Man, that guy hates everyone. So rude. Right. I'll tell you what, I watch so much of his stuff on YouTube. I actually signed up. He's got a course on, to play guitar.
Yeah.
My wife got that for me for Christmas.
Awesome.
And and I remember just even back in the day when they first started getting big, and I wish I could remember the year, but he released a video, and I thought, this guy's a goofball. I mean, he's just kind of a funny, normal guy who is one of the best guitar players of all time. If not, he's my favorite guitar player.
Very humble, down-to-earth characters. Now, here's the thing. We were told a couple of weeks ago that there's a possibility we could get the fellas on the phone. They played a show last night, Summers. Michigan. Tough. They got to drive all night, and, we had high hopes we could get them on the phone. The last word we received was no. Not in a nasty way, just, look, we need some friggin' sleep. We're not kids anymore. We got a show to do in St. Paul tonight. I still have a feeling someone is holding back a secret, maybe our program director. So I still have a feeling they're going to show up in the building this morning for an interview.
I hope that for you.
I kind of hope not. I'd be so nervous.
You'll wet your pants.
Yeah, I'd give up.
I don't want you wetting your damn pants. I know we've been told, they don't have time. I still think the three, Paul and Eric and Billy, are going to show up this morning. We'll see. I could be wrong, but I just get that. It's our 25th anniversary. We haven't heard from our program director in 2 months. I have no idea if the guy's even still breathing. So if it doesn't happen, that's okay too. I got a feeling someone's messing with us, and they're going to show up. So anyway, let me ask Ashley and Wapple and Dana a question. When's the last time, if ever, you've seen Josh just straight up pissed? I've seen it, I think, only one time where you were freaking furious.
I'd like to say...
So you do think there's been a time?
I think... I don't know if... Yeah, twice. I would say maybe once, and it was a long time ago. Like, I'm talking like 3 years ago, and it was because of somebody else that worked here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one I think I'm thinking of too.
Sure, fair enough.
That was that's one of the only times I've ever blown up, but he had it coming. And I was nicest to him more than anybody every time except for that, but he had it coming, and I know everyone agrees with me. I just couldn't deal with it anymore.
I remember getting that feeling. I don't know if you guys ever get that when you're watching somebody else get angry and fight. You kind of get like those butterflies in your stomach.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, ooh, throw a punch.
Your blood pressure.
You wanted to throw a punch?
I wanted him to throw a punch. Yeah, I wanted you to punch that son of a bitch, absolutely.
Well, you always wanted to punch that guy.
So... just keep an eye on Cubby right here. Keep an eye on him. I just wanted to read this real quick on the topic of how, again, we've always felt one of our favorite bands, if not our absolute favorite bands, Mr. Big, has never gotten the respect they deserve, and how certain dildos they never bothered to actually listen before they made a judgment. This is an article I found. It's from 2013 from a website called Uprocks, and the article was about crappy metal bands. Here's what he says about Mr. Big, okay? I don't have the guy's name, but obviously he's a complete moron. I don't even understand how these guys could even categorize themselves as rock. They were basically terrible coffee shop acoustic musicians with big hair.
Okay, so the guy's heard 3 songs. He's heard their cover of Wild World, he's heard 30 Days in the Hole, and he's heard To Be With You.
So he says, seriously, watch the video for To Be With You. They're harmonizing like a damn barbershop quartet, and the drummer is sitting in the back clapping his damn hands. Mr. Big basically existed so that we'd better appreciate modestly talented bands like Tesla.
Tesla is a modestly talented band. Again, a guy that's just heard Love Song.
Right. But he wrote a full-on article on I've even heard of Uprocks.
Oh, yeah, I read Uprocks quite a bit.
This is 11 years ago. Who knows? I don't care who the guy is. Now, he finishes off by saying, where are they now? They're still around, still touring, and popular in India and the Philippines.
My goodness. What a moron.
I hate that.
Yeah, did his girlfriend cheat on him with one of the guys in the band or something? That seems unnecessarily vicious.
Probably.
So if you're listening now and you're on the fence about going tonight, I strongly recommend going online and buying a ticket or two, specifically the 2 tickets that I have for sale.
You still got those?
Or I'm going to have to eat $200. Somebody buy my tickets.
I had a couple buddies that I thought for sure were going to do it, but both of them had something else to do tonight, unfortunately.
It happens. I had these 2 you know how this works. I bought 2 tickets, and then a buddy of mine went out and bought better tickets.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Without calling me first. So now we got more tickets than we need. Coffee shop acoustic musicians with big hair.
Even I know better than that.
Effing ignorant prick.
Harmonizing with the drummer clapping in the background.
Play that intro from Blame It On My Youth that we've played before on the program, Cubby.
Okay.
I think it's that... What's the record again? We do this every time. You know the intro I'm talking about. The live Blame It On My Youth. Was it Raw Like Sushi? Whatever. I can't remember. It's the one with the drums at the start and the... We've played it on the show before. I just want to if I'm missing this coffee shop vibe, I want to catch it. Maybe this guy was right from Up Rocks. Maybe they are nothing but a coffee shop band with big hair.
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Assed Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
I'll tell you, when the boys show up this morning, they're going to appreciate all this.
I sure hope so.
Jeez, is their bass drum just like 2 stories tall?
Doesn't
He's got
it sound
5
that
bass
way?
drums.
God, that thing sounds massive.
Where's your D right now, Waffle?
It's kind of in the dirt.
It's in the dirt.
Yeah, it knocked it right in the dirt. Nothing you can do.
God, that thing sounds huge.
Those were the days, man.
I got a chance to, when you guys started talking about how you were going to the concert, my boyfriend was like, all right, let me hear some of the music. So I did what you probably would have done, Nick. I played him a lot of the live versions.
Yeah.
And he's never heard Mr. Big before. Absolutely loved them.
That's great.
Nothing but respect
That's
for them.
great. And anybody who's been a fan of theirs for years, Josh, I bet you've experienced kind of roughly what Ashley was just saying. Like I mentioned a couple days ago, there was only 3 of my high school buddies who really, really loved Mr. Big when they first came out in 1989. It was just 3 of us. It was just, so many people were just, not like, we were the most open-minded people in the entire world back then, but everyone was just so dead set on Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue. That was just, that was the answer for every, we effed around a little bit back in those days. We would listen to, we got into Lillian Axe, for a while. So anyway, there was only 3 of my high school buddies that were really into it, but I experienced this a lot, and it was always fun to experience. To play their first 2 records specifically back in those days, don't tell anyone at the party or whatever, just hit it, just play it, or in the car, or whatever the situation may be. Eventually, there was always one person who would say, okay, hang on a second, who is this? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then you'd say, well, it's Mr. Big. They came out a couple years ago, and they'd say, this is effing incredible. I always loved that experience. Don't tell them, just play it. And see how long it takes someone to say, holy balls, what am I listening to? It's really cool.
And the more you listen, the more you pick up on things, like how just genius the little things they do. I mean, they're all, pretty much the best at what they do. Ashley, maybe your boyfriend wants to buy a pair of tickets from Nick.
I got it.
Nick's got a pair.
You don't have to work tomorrow. We're not working tomorrow.
That is so funny that you say that. He texted me 5 minutes ago and he said, I'll give him 100 for both.
Oh, he's
gonna lowball him?
He's trying to lowball you.
I will knock that kid across the mouth.
And you said he was a fan.
He did say, let's go to Mr. Big. Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome.
Well, he and I can talk.
I think Nick just raised the prices.
Yeah.
I love that.
We'll have one of those Goodfellas talks. Like the way, what the hell was De Niro's character in that movie, Goodfellas? What was De Niro's character? I'll play that role, and your boyfriend can play the role of one of the characters from Goodfellas that owed De Niro money.
James Conway.
Jimmy Conway. Yeah, I'm going to be Jimmy Conway, and your boyfriend will be the guy with the toupee who did the television commercials. You Goodfellas folks know what I'm talking about. So there you go. I mean, we're really pumped. I mean, I know it's not 1989 anymore, but I'm just positive the fellas are going to put on a great show. And Josh, make me a list of songs to where I'm not allowed to look at you. Because I'm going to make you a list of songs where you're not allowed to look at me while the band is playing them.
I'm glad you're doing that. Honestly, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Just Take My Heart, that's top of mind for me. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't look my way.
You don't have the need for it anymore.
No, I don't.
Your heart. So there you go. All right. Best concert you ever seen live. Everyone, go.
Day to Remember.
Day to Remember. Dana. Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, I need Bruce Springsteen concert.
Wapo. Marshmallow.
Oh, maybe Parkway Drive.
Parkway Drive. All right, worst concert you've ever seen in person. Go.
Ooh, Juicy J.
Who the hell is Juicy J?
Oh, Juicy J didn't perform enough.
What are you talking about, Juicy J?
Yeah,
that was awful.
He's a rapper. We were really big into him in high school, and I think he got on the stage at about 1:00 in the morning, and he did like a montage of 7 songs, and it was like a half hour. We were waiting for like 7 hours.
That's
It
not
sucked.
right.
I had that experience with the Bullet Boys years ago. Wapple. Hadn't seen him in years. I was all excited. They showed up an hour and a half late, played 4 songs, walked away.
Not cool.
Worst concert, Dana. Was it also Juicy J?
You know, I've not had the pleasure of seeing Mr. J perform live.
Oh,
No.
that's a guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I always thought Juicy J was a woman.
Oh.
No.
I'd never heard of Juicy J.
And then Juicy J's. Those are good joint wraps.
Sure.
Yep. Yes, they are.
Oh, is that a reference?
So Juicy J, the rapper, is he a reference to a marijuana cigarette?
I would assume so.
Dana never gave us his answer. Worst concert.
Death Cab for Cutie.
Death Cab for
Cutie.
Cutie.
I had
that's a letdown.
friend who she really liked that band.
What the hell?
We at my last job at Go 96.3, we had them do a couple shows, and I'd have to pretend on the air like I was really excited about it because it was one of those things, like don't rip the band. I'm like, these guys they put you to sleep. They're so boring. And yeah, I have an irrational hatred for Death Cab for Cutie now.
Oh,
I can think
actually,
I actually, most of the concerts I've been to have been pretty darn good.
you've been lucky so far?
Yeah.
What about you? I mean, I
Boy,
can think of mine, but I don't want to say it.
What, really?
Yeah.
Why
Just
not?
because I love the singer so much. One of my all-time favorite singers.
Well, if
I'll tell you.
go ahead.
Do you remember? Oh, no, this is going to hurt to say. Sebastian Bach's band, The Last Hard Men?
Yes.
We were there together, I think.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I was disgustingly drunk.
Oh, it was so bad.
Yes, it was awful.
I remember Jimmy Chamberlain from the Smashing Pumpkins was in that band. Their guitar player or bass player, I forget, was wearing these big green wings. It was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
It was
a horrible name too.
The Last Hard Men?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that name.
Yeah, I thought it was actually kind of cool.
The name is nice.
Are you thinking of penises?
Yeah,
Of course.
Penis.
Yes.
No. You got to go beyond the penis. I like the band name. I remember thinking, cool band name. It was garbage, and I was at about a 0.36, and I still didn't enjoy myself.
Oh, that's saying something.
For me, Josh, there's a few that come to mind. I saw L.A. Guns 10-some years ago, and it was absolutely terrible. And
really?
This was without Phil Lewis. This was... Tracy Guns had some idea to get the original guys from L.A. back together. The guys that eventually got cut before they were signed by a major label. The guys who, weren't good enough for a major label. Mm-hmm. He decided to tour with those guys again. It was atrociously bad. To where when they were playing at just some bar in Burnsville, I walked up to the stage, and there wasn't much resistance to get to the front of the stage. And I literally screamed out, "What the hell are you guys doing up there? This is awful!" I couldn't help it. It was so bad. And Tracy Guns is sitting there with this look on his face like, huh? Do you like what I've done here?
Oh, no.
No, it was dog feces.
Porcelain Punisher Jesus said, didn't you guys say Blue Oyster Cult was really bad? No, they weren't bad. It's just no one was into them.
No, Blue Oyster Cult puts on a great show.
That would be a fun show, I think.
They performed well. We felt bad for them because everyone left to go to the bathroom or get a beer or whatever. I mean, it was like a mass exodus as soon as they started playing.
They were on the wrong bill.
They were.
At the wrong time.
Everyone just assumes Don't Feel the Reaper with Blue Oyster Cult.
Fear.
Too. Fear, yeah.
Yes.
But don't feel him either.
Don't feel that.
Don't feel that Reaper.
Run.
This one's going to hurt me, but I wanted to see him last time, but Nick kind of turned me off. Wasn't Dokken bad?
The last time I saw Don Dokken, it was really, really, really bad.
Oh, that hurts me. I love him, too.
As far as worst concerts for me, I saw Kid Rock 20 years ago, and I don't get it. I still don't get the Kid Rock thing.
Was that before Metallica?
No, I don't.
I missed Kid Rock on that show. We hosted a meet and greet for folks to meet Metallica. So I unfortunately I missed Kid Rock.
I think he was the main act.
Was he?
Adam Sandler about 20 years ago was absolutely terrible.
I'm surprised he went to an Adam Sandler
How
show.
did you end up there?
Well, this was...
Was it a girl?
No, I mean, I didn't know who Adam Sandler was. This is when he was a young kid on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, all right.
And he was so bad that... You guys know the story where we got to meet him backstage. Anyway, I don't need to get into it now, but it was absolutely awful. The Iron Claw starring Zac Efron is also one of the worst live concerts.
That's not a concert. It's a movie.
It was terrible enough to where I'm counting it. I think it belongs on this list too. Zac Efron in the no. Everyone, people are texting in. People are texting in, saying or guessing that maybe the worst concert I ever saw was when I went to see Mr. Big Wiener. And okay, fine, I'll tell the story again because it is a fun story. Ever since we started talking about Mr. Big playing tonight in St. Paul, people have been texting in, Mr. Big Wiener, Mr. Big Wiener. It's an old story from many years ago. Mr. Big opened... No, Winger opened for... No, I got it right the first time. Mr. Big was the opener, Winger was the... how do they say it in the business, Josh? The headliner.
The headliner, yeah.
It was at First Avenue. And so all of us young kids were lined up against the wall there waiting to get in. And some dude walked past us and said, what the hell? Who y'all going to see tonight? And one of us said, Mr. Big and Winger. And the dude said, Mr. Big Wiener? What the hell's wrong with y'all? Could buy a ticket to go see Mr. Big Wiener.
Overwhelmingly, the brother and sisterhood are saying of the worst concert they've ever went to, Motley Crue. A lot of people saying Motley Crue. By the way, just announced August 29th, the Minnesota State Fair Grandstand.
Can't wait.
Oh, yeah, the last couple times I watched them, it was just terrible. So there you go. Forgive us if we get a little wild today, you know, and the focus isn't quite where it should be.
I thought of another show I went to. It was a offshoot of Dokken at George Lynch. He's such a great guitar player. I hope nobody wants to argue that, but he is. He's a very talented guitar player.
Are you kidding me? Of course he is.
And it was a great show, except for he faced the back the entire time. So as an audience, we're looking at his back. And I didn't understand. And somebody had said, you know, sometimes he kind of does that. He gets pissy about whatever. And
did he have a bug hanging?
Maybe his fly wouldn't stay up.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's why I went, you know, and that's probably why 70% of the crowd was there to see George Lynch, you know, in his solo act, and he had his back to us the whole time.
That's so weird.
I forgot about Slipknot. That was an amazing show, too.
Slipknot.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to see them.
That was a lot of fun.
Here we go. We'll kick it in a minute. And, we got the stupid news coming up. It's Mr. Big Day. And we're very happy to be with you this morning. This morning on the Half-Assed Morning Show. We'll be right back.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.
Former Navy SEAL Sean Ryan shares real stories from real people from all walks of life on The Sean Ryan Show.
Laird Hamilton, welcome to the show, man.
The truth about a good surfer is ultimately that you understand waves. You're actually a wave reader. I could go to the beach, we're watching a wave come in, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that guy's going to crash.
Is that intuition or is that learned?
Yes, the learned becomes intuition. When you have that much volume of experience, it goes into the unconscious.
The Sean Ryan Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about the best and worst concerts we've ever seen, and the brother and sisterhood got involved with our damn text machine, talking about the best and worst concerts that they've ever seen in person. Got a few interesting answers here. The worst concert I ever saw, says a listener, wasn't the main event. the headliner. It was the opener. This individual went to go see Weird Al Yankovic a few tours ago, and the opener was a comedian. They said no one had ever heard of the guy, and he was not funny at all.
Sucks.
That sucks. But maybe that was just Weird Al messing with you.
Oh, like it's putting somebody, that's the bit?
Yeah.
This guy's terrible?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Weird Al was messing with you.
I could see that.
Talking about bad shows, a listener says The Violent Femmes. Josh hates The Violent Femmes.
I'm not a fan. Yeah, I don't really understand. I mean, I'll tell you what, you put them on at a nightclub, people are going to be on the dance floor real quick.
One of our listeners went to see The Violent Femmes and said, after the concert, I threw their CD out my driver's side window. Best concert, says a listener, Megadeth, 1998. I can totally understand why that would be your answer. Worst, in the same year, 1998, they went to go see Devo, and it was not very good. Man, when I was in grade school, you couldn't escape Devo. Everybody, it's a good thing. Everybody looking for, and that's true. What was the song? Not that's true. And that's good.
Yep.
They had the toilet seats around their necks, and they had plant buckets on the top of their heads. Can we find that song real quick? Everybody, it's a good thing. Everybody's looking for this, and that's good. This here first story in our stupid news sounds very familiar. Is it possible that this happened twice? The headline says, a bride. You've been one of those once or twice, right, Ashley?
Yes, sir.
A bride. Well, then tell me how you'd react to this. She caught her groom breastfeeding off of his mother right before the bride and groom were set to walk that aisle together and get married.
Yes, we have talked about the exact same story, but I don't know if it's the same lady. They made it seem like it's a different one.
Okay. I thought it was familiar.
Wow. I mean, like, death, right? Somebody's dying. Might be me, might be them, I don't know.
Someone's going to die?
Yeah, that's... I can't even fathom walking into something like that.
Apparently, this incredible moment of mother-son bonding was witnessed by the bride's makeup artist who was there to do her job with the makeup.
I'd have a hard time believing her.
This didn't really happen, right?
I also have a very hard time believing this, right? But this is where they're going. Jenny is the name of the makeup artist. That's the name she goes by. She told the story to some other dude, and then that dude talked about it on a podcast. So that's how the story took off, just in case you were curious. Jenny says she and the bride were ducking into the bathroom together to take a leak right before the wedding ceremony was about to kick in, and they walked in on the groom with one of his mother's cans in his mouth.
Ugh.
And he was just open.
Oh,
the sound effect.
You don't need to do that.
I like my sound effect. You guys, you
They
never.
make me sick.
No, I liked that.
I don't know why you guys never like my sound effects. Now, back to the folks on this podcast who were talking about this possibly completely made-up story. Someone on the show wondered why this lady, the mother of the groom, why is she still producing milk in her cannons at her age? And the assumption was made that she must have been breastfeeding her son from the get-go all the way up to today.
Okay, I mean, how long does that last? That seems like after a while, her memories would say, you know what, I'm done.
I'm not
this
sure.
This is it for me.
Some women can go a very long time. But I don't know if like how many years would that be?
Well, I know a girl who was breastfed. Well, I shouldn't say that. She drank breast milk up until she was 6 years old.
Oh!
So I don't know when she stopped getting it right from the tap. But yeah, she told me that her mom would give her breast milk until she was 6.
Remember the scene from that Jim Carrey movie? The title escapes me.
Me, myself, and I. He regrets that. Yeah. He said that he wishes he never agreed to do that scene. That was disgusting.
Was shocking.
Yes, it was.
He was just working on that sumbitch too, wasn't he?
And it was a complete stranger, right? Yeah, she's just sitting at a bus stop or something.
She's horrified. Now, apparently, again, this likely completely made up story. Apparently, the bride still went ahead and walked that aisle with the groom with the milk mustache.
Nope. You kissed him? All right.
Oh. They didn't say whether or not he kissed him. She kissed him, but they said that the wedding still happened.
Boy, that'd be a tough call, right? I'd want to take a break. Mm-hmm. But you have all those people there. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
That if you saw it firsthand, right, versus somebody just saying something, that would make it obviously more difficult.
I'd hop on the mic. I would get married because it's easy to annul a marriage. And then
pretty easy to get divorced too, right, Ashley?
It is. It can be
in some cases.
And then when you give the speech, thanking everybody for being there, that's when I would drop it on everybody.
You owed it right then and there.
Really?
Yep.
That's tough.
So folks are texting in saying if she does keep a milking, she could keep a producing. I guess in most cases.
Wow.
I would have thought at some point the shop would close up.
Women are impressive.
So, Insomniac Jesus, okay, let's be reasonable. He says, you gawk at your grandma's cans. All right, I didn't gawk. I just happened to see them, and it was her fault for getting topless right in the middle of the world there.
Yeah, he's got you wrong right from the get-go. Your grandmother more or less exposed herself to you.
She was late at night. She didn't think anybody would be around. She's standing in her room. I walk out of my room. I have to go down a hallway, and that was what I got to see.
Where's he going with this now?
Yet you critique a guy using his mom's pacifiers. Can we all agree, if we
Pacifiers.
Can we agree it's different breastfeeding from your mom as an adult versus accidentally seeing a family member topless?
They are slightly different events.
I know which one I'd rather have experienced.
Yeah.
Or which story I'd rather tell.
Right.
There's a huge difference there, buddy.
There's a massive difference, and that's good. That's a Devo callback.
But you know what, Insomniac Jesus? Sometimes geniuses aren't recognized in their time, and years down the road, maybe we'll think he was right. That's the exact same as breastfeeding from your mother as an adult on your wedding day.
It's a hell of a story.
Get some.
I don't buy it, but it's a hell of a story that a grown man is feeding off his mother's fun bag 20 minutes, well, at all, let alone 5 minutes before he walks the friggin' aisle to get married. All right, what the hell is the problem here? This is an update from a story you had for us yesterday, Josh. Am I correct about that?
No, you told this story not too long ago.
Oh,
in the stupid
I told
news.
this story.
Yeah, it was a stupid news story.
Did I have any sound effects when I told it the first time around?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I did pull some sound effects for it.
All right, so this is an update to a story I told. Here's a guy who doesn't even know what story he told. In a town called Atkinson, New Hampshire, a business was looking to have its grand opening over there, but the powers to be in town, the city council or whoever, they said, no, you can't open your business here, the town said. You're too controversial, they said. We won't give you the zoning permit, they also said. So the owner of the business, who planned to open an adult diaper spa where they were going to cater to grown folks who like to wear diapers and act like little drooling children with poopy diapers, they will not be allowed to operate the business in Atkinson, New Hampshire. Jeez, what a bunch of flatliners there in Atkinson, New Hampshire.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
Bunch of flatliners. The locals spoke up at a town meeting or something like that, and they said they were concerned about the traffic and their property values. And they also mentioned that they were fearful of what kind of clientele would be showing up at the spa with their little diapers hanging off their fully grown adult bodies. Come on. Have an open mind like Josh and I do. Let's have some fun. Let's pretend we all have poop in our pants and then lay back and have somebody clean our filthy little bottoms.
It would surprise me if a business could sustain itself with, that specific, right? I mean, are there that many people that are into that? Or maybe the people that are just so loyal and they'd be very good customers. Mm-hmm. That's enough to keep the business going.
I bet they're probably the only shop in town if they did open with that exact service. So
not a lot of competition.
No, if you're into that sort of thing, I imagine there's only one place to go.
Grown folks who like to wear diapers and act like little babies. It's a thing. Enough to wear. There was a shop set in place and ready to open till the town said no.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to live next to one of those places. I would be concerned. Not trying to shame or judge or say someone's kink is wrong.
That's the only, how you don't like to yuck somebody else's yum. That's the only yum that I'll yuck.
Oh, you're exaggerating on that.
I'm sure there's some other ones too, but that's a big one.
You like to believe you're not a yum yucker, but you yum yuck the hell out of folks. You do. I mean, I'll eventually wear a diaper, but it's not because I want to be a baby.
Yeah.
It's because I can no longer control my...
I'll be there sooner than I like.
By God, we were just talking a few days ago about vile, disgusting male masturbatory sleeves. Like those damn fleshlights that have become popular with the young fellas. Weren't we? We were just talking about fleshlights.
Yep.
Wapple joined a fleshlight league. That's something we didn't talk about.
And then he threw it away.
Fleshlight league.
Yeah,
why did that even work?
Dude.
High score.
Yeah, see, you came in first. Dude, it's okay to talk about your fleshlight league.
I imagine it'd be better to be first than last in that situation.
I'm so embarrassed about it, though.
Fleshlight Club, y'all get together and trade ideas.
Don't be ashamed, Wapple. So you joined a fleshlight league. I'd rather join a fleshlight league these days than a fantasy football league.
Yeah, and just like Dana said before, there's not too many fleshlight leagues out there. You can't really go down the road and find another one.
So here we go. There's a new style of whack-off contraption available for you masturbators. I mean, it's new, but mostly the same as the others. With this here new one, you can prove to everyone just how much you truly love beer. A company called Blush is selling a beer can sex toy for men.
I could go for a Pabst Blue Ribbon, maybe.
Oh, my God.
That gets an oh, my God. What about a Miller Genuine Shaft?
Oh. It on the outside, it looks like a 16-ounce beer can. But the inside is designed to stroke you into next week. The label on the beer can sex toy is a take on the old Schlitz beer logo. Some of you are too young to remember Schlitz beer. The brand name they go with is Shags. So this must be English or something, because that's stupid. Shags. Does everyone agree that that's stupid? They could have done way better than that.
I don't care for the name.
That's dumb. They got 3 different versions, depending on whether you prefer lagers or ales or stouts. They're $40. They want $40 in trade for a beer can sex toy. It looks like they've been available for a little while, but someone called Vice.com did a write-up on them, and it's taken off since then.
$40? Your fleshlight was more than that, wasn't it, Wapple, or no?
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh, yeah. It was like 80.
Oh, man, really? They're that expensive, huh?
Mm-hmm. Then if you want to get into the ones that are
Here we go again.
If they're modeled after models, like porn stars and stuff, they get even more expensive.
Mm-hmm. See, that knowledge is what made him commissioner of this fleshlight league.
Dude, you said he wouldn't tell.
Dude, it's okay. What, like?
All right, I was the founder, too. I started it.
A lot of people want to know if they have a Pudweiser. Do they sell a Pudweiser?
God.
No, but they do have a Keybone Light and a Tight Claw.
There was also a story last week about a new Stanley tumbler sex toy. Do you guys know what it means to be a Stanley tumbler?
Yeah, those are huge. People obsess over those.
Yeah, when Starbucks, it's a joke. Starbucks released some, and people were going crazy, killing folks for them, stealing them.
Yeah, well, they had to put a sign up when they released them that you're only allowed to buy a certain amount. It's that crazy.
So, Josh, is it like that big, tall vat of water you have over there? Is that a tumbler?
No, this is a water bottle. This is what the tumbler looks like.
Oh, I see. One of those big plastic coffee carrying devices with a big stinking handle on it. Okay.
Nick, you can even buy like accessories for the Stanley tumbler.
Okay.
Like cute things to put on your straw. It's
You're talking about for a legitimate tumbler, not the one that I'm putting my pecker in.
Yes.
Okay.
Honestly, it seems like people, the amount that they love it seems like they have to be doing something different with it.
I got a big fat ass water bottle at home, but I don't have a tumbler. Anyway, so there's a new Stanley tumbler sex toy. This one comes with an attachment so hot mamas can use it too.
Oh.
You're driving that back and forth. What do you think about that, Smashley? The Stanley tumbler dildo.
I'm gonna pass on this one.
Dental Babe Sheeza said she has one of those Starbucks Stanley tumblers, and she's ashamed for the hell she went through to get one. That was like the hottest thing around for a while.
Is that right? I've never heard of the Stanley tumbler.
That's how I first heard about it. Is this whole Starbucks deal, and they were calling them Stanley cups.
Yep.
And so I, of course, assumed it was like a replica Stanley cup you could get coffee in, and then found out about this whole cult following of this tumbler.
You're thinking you're going to see Brian Trottier's name on the side of it, but
Yeah, that was fun. There was a few people, especially around Christmas, when like somebody's daughter or their wife would ask for a Stanley cup, they'd get them like a replica of the Stanley cup. That was great.
it's a hell of a deal. You can grind your genitalia into all kinds of interesting things these days. Balls, Mahoney, does this sound awful? And damned disgusting. Here's that half-assed morning show diet plan at work again for you. Helping our listeners lose weight every damn day with stories like this here, because you'll easily push aside your egg-a-muffin. Some poor bastard in Florida upped and went to the hospital because he wasn't feeling very good. He was in a lot of pain in general. He had nosebleeds. His face swole up on him. His lips swole up. He couldn't talk. He said his whole face felt like it was afire. Well, when the doctor took a look, the doctor eventually looked up a player's nose, and he saw something. And it was moving. After getting a closer look inside, the doctor found hundreds of parasites in the man's nose, and they were feeding off of him.
No.
They were different sizes. There were itty-bitty little baby parasites. And there were big fat ones with full bellies that were eating the poor guy's flesh right out from under him. The big ones, they say, were about the size of the tip of your pinky.
Oh, I'm gonna throw up.
And they kept eating and eating little bits of flesh as fast as they could out from the inside of his nose. This is the sound they made.
So unnecessary.
That saved me, thank you.
In total, there were 150 parasites slithering around this guy's sinuses. When the doctors pulled one of them out, it let out a little scream.
No, really?
They wanted to feed. It let out a scream. Like when you pull a puppy away from a nipple.
Can't have any experience.
Yeah, me either.
You never had a litter of puppies?
No.
I wish.
Oh.
They were always fixed.
Megan
When you
Marie
get
had
them from
puppies.
the,
Best girl in the whole
pound.
world, Megan Marie. She had puppies. 10 of them, 8 lived. The doctor said, true story, only 8 of them lived. What am I going to do? The doctor said that these parasites were right up against the base of this guy's skull. Right up under his brain.
That can't be good.
And he said had the parasites found their way through that spot, they could have killed him dead right there on the spot. They would have just started feeding on his brain, and he would have, probably diarrheaed his pants and dropped dead on the spot. The unlucky sumbitch with the army of parasites eating him alive said he had some immune system problems before this happened. He had a tumor removed 30 years ago, and that could have contributed to the infestation. Typically, your immune system keeps intruders from making your body their home. The condition has a name. It's called, Cubby, it's called nasal myiasis. And it's so rare that there is yet to be a documented case anywhere in the United States except for a current widespread outbreak in Coon Rapids.
Stop.
Wait, that's where Ashley lives.
No.
God, the mouth noises, dude.
And you pull it away and it goes. The patient, this poor guy, he said he's an avid fisherman and said he may have opened the door for the parasites from handling dead fish.
Bro.
Like they often do in Coon Rapids. The man will survive. The 150 parasites will not. They were squashed with a boot heel on the floor of the hospital.
Oh no, I did touch a dead fish not too long ago.
You touched a dead fish?
Yeah, actually, so I was on a little hike, and I went to climb over a log, and so I tried to, balance myself, and I grabbed a broken down tree next to me, and I was like, whoa, that's not a tree. And by the look of where I was, it looked like a bee's nest.
Okay.
Kind of like scaly looking, and I was
Is
like,
anyone
oh,
else
shoot.
wondering how a fish comes into play?
Very much wait so. For it. And
I'm
so
waiting.
I was terrified because I was like, oh my gosh, bees. And then I realized it was somebody hung up a dead fish on a tree stump. And it was barely had any skin left. It was just bones. And yeah, I gripped that thing.
What in the living hell is someone doing pinning a dead fish to a tree stump in the middle of the woods?
I'm gonna blank on it, but it's
Is this a satanic ritual or something?
No, it's one of those.
It sounds like something out of True Detective.
It was
season 1.
Is it carp? Is that one of those invasive species? Yeah. So it was one of those. So I think somebody was like, "Yeah, I killed it." Yeah.
Wait a minute. But you're in the middle of the woods. Is there a body of water anywhere nearby?
Yes,
okay.
there was.
Oh,
yes.
Was anyone else picturing the middle of the woods?
Yes.
Okay.
That would have been much more alarming. I don't think I would go back there.
I caught this carp. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk 5-6 miles into the woods back here, boys, and I'm going to pin it to a tree. All right, we'll see you in an hour and a half. All right.
Oh, so gross.
Yeah, you're in trouble now. You fingered that dead carp. Probably picked your nose right after that.
I'll bet you are a nose picker.
Oh, yeah.
But I bet this guy hadn't had a booger in 3 decades. With all those larvae out there.
Oh, that's true.
Surviving on that filth.
Ate it up. The parasites ate it up. What time is it? We got to get going here pretty soon, so. I'll go this route. I think. Yeah. This nonsense again. This is one of my least favorite gimmicks today. The friggin' ghost hunter type folks. Such a colossal scam. I can't stand it. But I'm going to go ahead anyway. A couple of enterprising students from Thailand is how the story begins. They've come up with an innovative business strategy, it says here. These two kids will spend a night or two in somebody's house or apartment to certify that they are free of ghosts and paranormal phenomena, for Christ's sake.
As the internet says, shut up and take my money.
One of them is a 21-year-old kid by the name of Wi-Fi Cheng.
Sweet.
He's a student at some wacky-ass school over there in Thailand. The school is called Rajamangala University of Technology, don't you know? I think the Golden Gophers played them in a bowl game a few years ago. Anyway, this kid had heard about the apparent problems that local realtors were having selling properties where deaths had been reported in the past. And maybe they have certain beliefs over there in Thailand about if somebody dies in a house, there's just 100%, there's going to be a ghost in there. So these kids decided there was a market for something called ghost-free home certifiers. So Wi-Fi called up one of his bros, a 22-year-old kid named Strethawut Boone Prakong. I'm not making any of that up.
I don't know how you would.
Hello, is Stret Hawoot there? Yes, this is he. Well, is this Stret Hawoot Boone Prakong? No, he's here though. Hang on a minute. Stret Hawoot. Yes? No, not that Stret Hawoot. Stret Hawoot Broomwikong. Yes? You have a phone call. So they started advertising their services on that godless social media. They'll crash at your house. You're going to have them over, Josh?
Well, that's the only way to be sure.
Yeah. They're going to crash at your house, and then in the morning, if they didn't see any ghosts anywhere, they'll give you a ghost-free certificate, and then you have to hand them some money.
I bet you gotta supply dinner, I bet.
We found some ectoplasm in Wapple's sock.
It's a spooky ghost.
You wake them up in the morning. Wake up, fellas. What's the answer? Were there any ghosts? Ghosts? What are you talking about? You were here to see if there were any ghosts and give us a certificate. Oh, yeah, there's no ghosts here. No, where's our money? Give me $50. That's about it.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, what was that? Did you guys hear that? Oh, I heard that. That's a ghost. We need to call him. Oh, no!
There's the ghost!
It wasn't a ghost. It was some college kids lighting a fart, is what I thought. I thought it was a ghost. See, I thought do I hear something again? Having a good time.
Oh, my word.
That's it. He's dead. Now there's a ghost.
Unreal.
There's a ghost now because that guy's head came smooth off. We'll be right back. We'll get some water.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
A sharpened moose femur wielded by a crazed ritualistic killer. This is the 5th animal bone murder here in Grimsburg, the work of an unknown serial killer who the media are calling the Boner.
And I'll get my hands on this boner no matter how hard it gets. Over to you, Hank.
The hell's going on there, Cubby?
Grimsburg. Anybody watching that?
No, not yet.
Never saw
Kinda
it.
interested.
Pardon me now?
Kind of interested.
It's okay.
Oh,
There's a few really good moments.
I do like John Hamm.
Yeah, John Hamm there doing his best, Will Arnett. Mm-hmm. And a month or so ago, they released the first episode, and they just had the second one on Sunday.
Cool.
If you like the animated shows, maybe it's worth giving it a try. It's not the best one you've ever seen.
It's hard for me to get into new animated shows because I always compare them to, like, Family Guy, The Simpsons.
But naturally, yeah.
The Flintstones,
sure.
Tom and Jerry.
The good ones.
Scooby-Doo?
You didn't like Scooby-Doo?
No, I love Scooby-Doo, but
man.
I hate Scrappy. Scrappy-Doo sucks.
Nobody likes Scrappy.
Nobody likes Scrappy. Yeah.
Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and
Looney Tunes,
Tom and Jerry.
Said it already, Wapple.
South Park, Tom and Jerry.
Said Tom and Jerry already.
Grimsburg.
That's where we started. Thank you for bringing it back.
We're getting ready to go to the show tonight. Mr. Big live in St. Paul, going to be magic.
If I could make one request, and I hope this isn't too forward of me, is everybody cool just sitting down for this show? I don't want to stand up for over an hour. I mean, they actually go closer to 2 hours I've seen in some of the shows. I can't do that. Not anymore.
It's tough. I feel your pain. I don't like standing up for shows anymore, but
I really like
they're
sitting
going to be
down.
worth it. No, you're going to have to stand.
And
I'm going to bring a kickstand.
It'll be worth it. My
Yes.
knees give in and they give out. And I know what you're saying.
It makes it worse because those theater chairs are really nice and comfortable. And
Oh,
if
they
you're
are.
standing up right in front of it, it's like, I could just put my butt right down.
Yeah. See, you're speaking my language.
That's Mr. Big for you. We'll be talking more about them this morning. I still have a feeling they're going to be coming in studio at some point. They've been telling us, oh, no, the guys are I think they'll be here in a half hour, Mr. Big. We'll see if my prediction plays out correctly. One game after putting up records for goals and causing everyone in town to wet their pants with excitement, the Pigs went up to Winnipeg and got their asses kicked.
Complete opposite.
We'll have a Minnesota Wild update for you a little bit later on, and Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. So we got plenty more to cover. Plenty of time for all that crap. We'll be right back with Cubbies News on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.
Morning Show. 93X.
Everybody thinks it happens in other neighborhoods. You don't realize things like that happen in your own neighborhood.
It's scary out here. It's dangerous. I mean, you have to always look ahead of you, behind you, and around you, and just stay on point. You just really have to be on point.
A man recorded videos of himself doing lewd acts while walking behind unsuspecting women at a Michigan Target and ejaculating on their coats.
Crazy, first of all. Man, I just couldn't imagine with these kids being out here and this man out here just doing what he doing in a store and Target.
The investigation began Sunday the 11th when a woman reported to a Dearborn police officer she saw a man jacking it in his white Jeep Wrangler in the Target parking lot.
He's driving a Wrangler?
He was.
All right.
I'd imagine the top was up. You know, it's chilly in Michigan. Cops conducted a traffic stop on the man, identified as 31-year-old Stephen Simmons out of Detroit, and they arrested him on an indecent exposure charge. But the investigation didn't end there. Detectives uncovered numerous videos dating back to December of Simmons following women through the aisles of Target and ejaculating on their coats without their knowledge.
God, this guy, he made video after video.
Yeah, sicko. So he could relive the sin. The Dearborn police chief said in a statement, "These incidents are disturbing and traumatic. Thanks to the quick actions of an alert community member, our officers were able to quickly apprehend this individual on scene."
It's good that the police have caught that person, and hopefully he's an example. So anybody that's thinking about doing something like that, that would deter them from doing it.
Police are looking to see if there are any other victims the man may have soiled.
I think maybe you got to cut it off.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
I agree.
I mean, when I was on the force, towing that thin red and khaki line, when I was asset protection for Target, we did get a lot of store masturbators.
Did you?
At one particular store.
Wow.
Indeed.
You never caught me.
Well, we knew what was going on, but we felt bad for you with that little thing. That little tiny penis of yours.
Yeah, it's fortunate.
I think they got to tear it off for the guy.
That's probably the only way he's going to stop, right? I have a feeling he's not going to wise up after this.
No.
Burn it off?
Yeah, however you want to remove it.
What other ways can we remove it?
I've heard suck it off, but I think that's different.
What the hell?
I don't know that that's the same thing.
That is different. That's not. That's different than what we're talking about.
That is?
I think.
Well, now I'm embarrassed.
That's
not as embarrassed as Dana should be with that little penis.
Yeah, it's tiny.
A man was arrested Monday after deputies say he cast pornography onto a television of an Ohio restaurant. The Summit County Sheriff's Office said a group of kids, 6 of them, ages 9 to 12, went to the restaurant about 8:30 p.m. with their parents. While there, the group noticed pornography on one of the televisions. The parents in the group then contacted 911. Detectives determined the suspect, 30-year-old Dylan Seibel, cast the pornography from his cell phone. He was charged with felonious disseminating matter harmful to juveniles and misdemeanor disseminating matter harmful to juveniles and taken to jail.
Funny kid.
Yeah, come on, dude.
I'm surprised they called the cops, though.
Really? I guess that doesn't surprise me.
I imagine my first thing that I would do is tell the manager, and if
they might have done that.
That's possible. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Story didn't mention it, but maybe they did.
You're always the type that asks to speak to the manager.
Yeah, Karen.
You know me.
High maintenance, Ashley.
A 69-year-old Texas man stabbed a fellow gym goer at an LA Fitness in a dispute over workout equipment.
There are signs posted up that say somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes per equipment use. So if people are following those rules, then you really shouldn't have anyone get that impatient.
Austin police said the suspect, identified as John Mackinson, was arrested following the Friday fracas at the fitness center. A man waiting to use the leg press machine Mackinson was using said he told him to find something else to do when he said he would like to use it. The victim was eventually able to use the machine and later came upon the man near the locker room. Mackinson chased the victim and then stabbed him with a folding knife in the butt. "Who else wants some?" Mackinson yelled at other people in the gym who were trying to protect the victim, police said.
What do you mean, who else wants some? Like me?
And nobody else wanted some, but he was polite enough to ask.
Okay.
He fled on foot all the way to the back of the building where police arrested him.
Mackinson, one of the top fight lines of all time, right? Who else wants some? that's it. Got to be top 5.
You better be sure there's not like a retired Navy SEAL in the audience or something like that.
I will indeed take some.
Yes, I will have some right now. Mackinson's been in trouble before, believe it or not, surprisingly. 2012, he pleaded guilty to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and was ordered to serve a 10-year prison sentence for that.
Does that get on your nerves, Cubby, when someone's hogging the leg machine over there at the gym?
No, nothing like that. I understand. Do your thing. I'll find something else to do. Like
Yeah, exactly.
hang out at the front desk and talk to whoever's working.
Eat some Tootsie Rolls.
Then in Nashville, Tennessee, 20-year-old Jordan Denham got angry at her roommate, Shania Peters, and beat her up after Peters confronted her about, quote, microaggressions.
Microaggressions?
Ironically, pointing out the daily little slights and aggressive comments she made caused her to get macro-aggressive and slap the tartar right off her roommate's teeth. Don't tell me I get angry.
There's micro and macro aggressions?
I have no idea if there's macro. I added that for effect, but there are micro.
You made that sound legit as all hell.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, there's a micro and macroeconomics, so why wouldn't there be?
If there's a micro, there has to be a macro.
A 39-year-old Florida man was arrested Monday after allegedly attacking someone at his work. His work is a school, and the person he attacked is a student. And that student is only 9 years old.
Oh, dude.
And that 9-year-old is autistic.
Son of a bitch.
And he's a retired football player. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office said a nonverbal autistic student at the Eisenhower Exceptional Center hit a behavior support teacher at the school.
They sometimes don't know how to express what they're feeling. Being physical may be something that they resort to. It is definitely a common behavior with kids with autism, especially that are nonverbal.
In response, the 6'5", 215-pound, 39-year-old teacher and former football player punched the 9-year-old special needs child in the face.
The teacher and the student were walking out of a gymnasium when the child with autism slapped the teacher. The teacher then turned and punched the student in the face, causing him to fall to the ground.
God dang.
Before becoming a teacher, Preche Rodriguez, who played college football at Auburn, was also a standout receiver for the Tampa Bay Storm and several teams in the Canadian Football League.
Oh, that's what's got him so mad.
According to the public school district, Rodriguez was fired from the institution, and police say he's facing child abuse charges.
That's one of the roughest damn stories I've ever heard from you.
And I mean, people are saying he's trained for this. Like he knows this can happen. Then in East Georgia, parents of students at a middle school there were notified this week a teacher accidentally exposed themselves to students. According to a letter sent by the principal, a teacher at a middle school near Augusta was demonstrating inappropriate attire for school when the teacher partially exposed body parts to students.
What are we talking here?
I don't know, like, hey, you can't wear this, don't do this.
So it was a dude or a lady
They
teacher?
didn't say.
Oh.
Students in the class captured photos and shared those photos with other students, the principal said. The Richmond County School System administrators and police are investigating that incident.
Maybe just a nad fell out.
Yeah, I don't know, or a boob or something. They said him or herself was exposed. They didn't say.
Kids in the front row. Was that a nad? Yeah, I believe it was.
Mister, your ball is showing.
Your balls are showing. In Torrey Thompson's 20 years of law enforcement, the Howell County Sheriff's Office lieutenant has examined his share of bizarre incidents. And when a man tried to cash in on an insurance policy by staging a bloody farm equipment accident, it became the strangest case, he said, of his career. Would-be fraud and gruesome scenes are part and parcel of Thompson's job, but the combination of those circumstances is odd, he said, and the details made it odder. In November, police sent out a relatively vague press release to local media about a situation involving a man who lost his feet in an apparent staged incident with a brush hog, a rotary mower often attached to a tractor. Lost was a literal term, as the severed feet couldn't be found by responding medics or law enforcement. It was a poorly executed plan. I've never seen anything quite like it, Thompson said. When the call came in to emergency responders, it was described as involving a man in his 60s whose feet were severed while brush hogging. But Thompson said it was quickly apparent the incident was staged. The feet were freshly severed. That much was true, according to Thompson, who said investigators were immediately curious about the tourniquets on his legs and who happened to put them there in the immediate aftermath of the alleged accident. The man apparently had some help. Thompson said another man from Florida made the trip to the small Ozarks town to cut off the man's legs with a hatchet, executing an alleged plan to commit insurance fraud.
Are you boning me?
No, for money, he had his own feet cut off. The wounds were not very convincing, the lieutenant said, with cuts that were much too clean to have been done by a brush hog.
Right.
As the investigation continued, investigators determined the man was attempting to get money from an insurance claim, but since he never formally filed that false claim, prosecutors didn't press charges. As for where his feet did end up, Thompson said a couple days after they got a call from a relative who found them in a bucket obscured by tires.
They found feet in a bucket?
They did.
Gross.
That is one wacky farm down there. And where are they at?
They were Howell County. They had said that apparently, this particular guy has tried stuff like this in the past to get some insurance money. So that was the other thing.
Hoo-wee.
And also they were going to maybe charge him with wasting their time, but they decided that his feet being gone was punishment enough.
Yeah.
Who is the guy that flew from Florida to chop his feet off for him?
Must be a dude that was thinking he'd get some money, right?
That is my favorite story so far today. That is absolutely out of this world insane. And I want to know more. I do. I want to know all the details. I hope this gets its own Wikipedia page someday so I can read everything. This is fascinating to me.
Riders leave thousands of items behind each year in the New York City subways. In fact, 30,000 items get lost in the system every year.
Christ, were there feet in there somewhere?
Wallets and purses, pricey smartphones, backpacks, and as of last weekend, a disembodied human leg. A human leg was found abandoned on a New York City subway track, police said, sparking an investigation into who it once belonged to and how they lost it. The NYPD said the body part was discovered charred and still wearing a pant leg just after 1 p.m. Saturday in the Concourse neighborhood of the Bronx. New York's medical examiner is now examining the leg, but police believe they may have solved the mystery. Authorities believe it was separated from a man hit by a train miles down the tracks days earlier. They think it was dragged at least 9 miles. Some other unusual items left behind on the city's sprawling transport network include funeral urns, a welder's mask, and a blender. Not quite up to human leg standards.
God damn.
The Apple Vision Pro augmented reality headset has become one of the most talked about gadgets around, but police are warning users to continue to cross the street the old-fashioned way without them over your head.
Are people really?
You knew this was going to happen.
The San Diego Police Department issued the advisory Monday after footage went viral on Instagram showing a man walking across a downtown busy street and apparently accessing a virtual menu while a police patrol car and several officers were just yards away. A video making its rounds online shows our patrol team in Central Division face-to-face with the future. A pedestrian donning the latest Apple Vision Pro headset while walking in the street downtown, the department posted on its Instagram page. It was a sight that had us pausing in bewilderment, the cops said. While we're all for exploring new dimensions in technology, let's remember the importance of pedestrian safety. The statement continued, keep those virtual experiences on the sidewalk, folks, and let's cross the street the old-fashioned way with our eyes wide open to the real world, unobstructed and without distractions. Some have hailed the $3,500 headsets as the beginning of a new era of wearable technology, while others have described them as something of a dystopian nightmare.
A dystopian nightmare.
A hellscape.
I need a pair of those if it's a dystopian nightmare, because that's what I'm into.
Sounds like a cool album name. There's got to be a dystopian nightmare album name out there, don't you think?
I think that Christian Okoye from the Kansas City Chiefs back in the early 90s, they called him the dystopian nightmare.
Is that true, or are you just saying
No, he was the Nigerian nightmare. I'm just trying to kill time.
The second season premiere of Family Stallone debuts today on Paramount Plus. On Disney Plus, the third season premiere of Star Wars The Bad Batch.
Which Stallone lady are you most in love with, Josh? Doesn't he have just his wife and his daughters?
They're
are
all
just
supermodel.
You don't have. I figured you'd be watching the show, Josh, and you'd have a favorite Stallone girl.
I don't notice anybody other than Sylvester. I love him so much.
Understandable.
You can put all the most beautiful women in the world around him, and I'm looking at Sly.
Oh, man, you and me both.
Yeah, you're the same way.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't want to miss a thing when Sly's on TV.
No, I'm just captivated by everything he does, every look he has, everything he says.
Who's that scorching hot babe? Who cares? Sly over there. He's making a bologna sandwich and talking about Apollo Creed.
Finally, now streaming on Apple TV Plus, the series premiere of Constellation, an 8-part sci-fi thriller about an astronaut who returns from a disaster in space to find tiny details of her life have dramatically changed. Frasier Crane on Cheers, and Frasier, of course, Kelsey Grammer, 69.
For my money, one of the greatest comedy actors to ever give it a shot.
Very, very funny.
And the voice of Sideshow Bob on The Simpsons.
That's right. Good call. Anthony Daniels, the only actor to be in all 10 Star Wars movies when he played C-3PO, is 78.
I think he's the best to ever play C-3PO.
You know what? You're right. Good call. To 3-year-old Owen, good luck with your surgery today, buddy. Also, this would be a great time to ask Mom and Dad for all the toys and ice cream you want. You got them right where you want them. Whatever you want, kid. Get well soon, Owen. Happy birthday tomorrow to 5 feet of Fury Jesus and your womb mate, 5 more feet of Fury Jesus. Happy birthday to Denver Jesus. Let's ride. From his cousin Mosh Crusher Jesus. Happy birthday to Kidney Stones Jesus from Route Fixer Jesus. Happy birthday to Poopy Pants Jesus from Farty Britches Jesus. Happy 55th to Alex P. Keaton Bobblehead Jesus. Happy birthday to Kraken Skulls Jesus. Hope Union Drywall Jesus has a great birthday today. And to Eric, Paul, and Billy, I love you. And Nick and I will see you tonight at the Fitzgerald. That's 93X News.
KARE 11's Randy Shaver
on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Michael Jordan participated in the contest 3 times. Dominique Wilkins 5 times. Every high jumper, every skywalker, every above the rim talent salivated for the opportunity to compete in the slam dunk contest. It stopped when LeBron James said, "I'm not doing it." And from that point forward, the stars who followed didn't feel compelled to prioritize a slam dunk contest.
All right. I like Stephen A. Smith. Josh and I are the only guys on this program that back him. But he's hollering back and forth about LeBron James ruined the slam dunk contest. Who cares?
He has some weird takes
sometimes. Freaking slam dunk contest is not even a real thing. Who you hollering about that for? Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
And also in studio, a gal who is merciless. She's got that voodoo kiss. My kind of woman. And super fantastic, Janel Klein.
Good to see you alive and kicking, Janelle.
Good to see you guys. I was hoping you weren't going to say the woman who dominated the slam dunk contest.
Wait a minute. I would love to see you in a slam dunk contest.
No.
You're pretty tall. Can you get up to the rim? Could you dunk?
I can't do anything.
You can dunk.
Janelle's specialty is the windmill.
Yeah.
You can friggin' dunk.
Isn't your mom's the Eiffel Tower? That shouldn't have happened. I'm sorry, Wop.
We're feeling a little silly today, Janelle, especially Josh and I. It's kind of an F-off day. Sorry for the cheesy intro, but I wanted to dump in as many Mr. Big songs as possible.
It's okay. It went right over my head.
And
probably most people.
99 out of 100 people listening, of course, because like Josh and I were discussing, they never really grabbed, aside from the big single To Be With You, they never really grabbed folks the way we always thought they deserved. Mr. Big, one of our favorite bands, is playing tonight in St. Paul, so we're feeling a little weird. We're excited. I'm still expecting them to walk in any minute now.
I don't get that same feeling, but
because
that'd be something.
The bosses, well, Derek, our program director, shady sumbitch that he is, he said to us a week or two ago, he said, I can get the guys on the phone for you. And then we didn't hear anything from him. And Dana tells us, they're not going to be able to come on the phone with you. I still think there's something going on. And the boys might walk in here any minute, so I'm holding out hope for that. We'll see.
I told you they were pumped, Janelle.
If there were 3 things, Nick, you could beat a Janel Klein.
Oh, man.
What are those 3 things?
3 things?
3 things. That's all you get. Just
I'd
3
be
things.
Her daddy. I'd be her brother.
Yep.
And I'd be her little boy.
I should have said 4. I forgot lover. I'm an idiot.
I did too.
Yeah.
I'll be your everything, Eric Martin says. Sounds like Ashley's going to buy my spare pair of tickets.
Yep. I'm pretty excited.
I effed up. Me and a buddy effed up. Lack of communication. We had a couple extra tickets floating out there on the internet, hoping someone would buy them. Ashley finally decided she's going to let her buck. You and your boyfriend are going to go?
Yes. I'm pretty pumped.
Being a first-timer, you're not allowed really to associate with lifetime fans like Josh and I if you see us in the venue.
I understand.
If you see us, just keep walking.
Yeah, I'm sitting just to the right of you. You can't look my direction.
Okay.
It's the same language we have in our contracts with Cumulus Media. Certain people aren't allowed to look our way.
Well, I'm thinking, Nick, you talked me in a couple of years ago into going to see Winger at the Medina Ballroom.
Okay.
And I
Amazing.
had a blast. So I'm thinking it's going to be kind of the same outcome.
There you go. I know you're going to enjoy the hell out of it. I know you are. And we can keep going on and on about this.
Randy, what time are you picking me up?
You guys want to go? That'd be awesome.
I can't, Brad. I have to work. It's called work.
Okay.
Ashley never paid me for those tickets yet, really.
Oh, boy.
They're still available.
We can go together, Brad.
Randy Shaver.
We could? Well, I thought you were taking your boyfriend.
I'll replace him.
Oh,
okay.
breaking news.
Hello, Brad.
Anything new with you, Janelle?
Opportunity.
Yeah. Surprisingly fun opportunity.
Who is surprisingly fun, you or Ashley?
Well, not me.
Before we get cooking, Janelle, what's going on? Nice to see you again.
Great to see you
Have
guys.
we missed anything?
Nothing that you probably want to hear about.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What, bad stuff?
Yeah.
Did Jose Canseco still bother you?
I mean,
All right, not great stuff?
love is rocky. What can I say?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Randy Shaver.
Yes, sir.
You ever heard of a website called onlyinyourstate.com?
I have not.
No, they've never heard of us either. But Randy, you got a solid HJ yesterday from these people.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't. Shoot,
solid what?
I emailed you this, Randy. I don't know if you
emailed me, Josh?
I sure did yesterday.
Well, I'm looking at my phone right now.
Yeah, I got to thank the Brotherhood for making me aware of this article.
Email.
Your
Josh,
personal
I
email.
don't think you emailed me, Josh.
What kind of website is this? I just tried to look it up and I'm blocked.
I'm brand new to it, Brad Ryder.
You're blocked?
Yeah, like on my work
Hey,
computer,
hey,
I can't get
Josh,
on it.
I never got your email.
Oh, shoot. Well,
I'll tell them all about it here in a minute. I don't
You know what, Josh? You were blocked. On that
makes sense. I've sent you some foul stuff.
Brad Ryder, I don't know the gist of this website. It was brand new to me. Yesterday, Josh sent me this via electronic mail, onlyinyourstate.com. I mean, they fell all over you, Randy Shaver.
It was very
fell
nice.
all over me?
Yes. It says here that the title of the article, if Minnesota had an official state news anchor, we would nominate Randy Shaver.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
That's so sweet.
That's dumb.
We agree.
It says here...
You agree it's dumb?
Yeah, which do you agree with?
It says here you've been a news anchor in Minnesota for more than a decade, but you've been with KARE 11 since 1983.
That is true.
In several roles.
Just a few.
Generations of local news viewers have enjoyed and trusted Shaver's guy next door style.
Come on.
Guy next door.
That.
You have never, ever given me the guy next door.
Who are you paying, Randy?
I'm not paying anybody. I don't know who wrote that garbage.
They talk about your openness.
My whatness?
Openness.
Maybe on this program.
Well, it took a while for openness between...
Well, I have to, there's a certain amount of trust that's needed before you can open
You
up.
should have trusted us from the friggin' get-go.
And, that trust was certainly wavering a few times. As you sent me down to the Metrodome in the heat of a Twins controversy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is an
you
old
guys
story.
remember that.
Yeah, you'll have to tell the story again.
Yeah.
for folks that haven't heard it.
Not a pretty sight.
We were joking. No, I'd like to hear. I want to hear this story again because it's been so long since we've told it. I don't remember all the facts. We were playfully talking about. Okay, my God, we were really a deep dive here. We were talking about how athletes might have a little side action now and again, right?
Well, it wasn't we. I was not part of that conversation.
Fine, Randy. I don't know who you're afraid of anymore, but fine.
I'm not afraid of anybody now, but it was a very, very uncomfortable situation, and I knew it was coming when I walked down there.
I'm sorry about all this. This was a long time ago. We were having a playful conversation on air about something that's obvious to everybody on planet Earth. If you're a pro athlete or a rock star or someone like that, you're not always the most loyal person in the world when it comes to relationships. You might get a little ass from town to town. That's what we were talking about. And it just so happens Randy's got to go down to the old Metrodome to do a twin story, and all
you're leaving a piece of it out.
Well, like I said, I don't remember. Go ahead.
Well, you specifically, I think, talked about A.J. Przynski.
I have no memory of that. That's not a joke. That's not a joke.
After Randy's done, I was involved in this too, and you don't even know it. Anyway, go ahead.
I have no memory of naming anyone specifically.
So there was this discussion. Apparently, I don't know, but I got a phone call from, I want to say it was Mike Herman, or maybe it was.
It might have been me.
No, it wasn't you, Brad.
Wasn't it? I think I might have told Mike.
You know what? It was Sean
Harlan. I think I told Sean to call you.
Yes. So
this passes it off.
Just to quickly, the story goes, I had to go down to the Metrodome to cover the Twins, and Sean gives me this heads up. Hey, man, these guys are
That's a Mr. Big
up.
Album title. Hey, man. Thank you for that,
These
Randy.
guys are riled up, and they want your head. You were talking about, and I said, hey, that wasn't me. I wasn't talking. Anyway, I go down there because you know what? You got to go down there. And I just remember going down those long set of steps from the clubhouse down to the Metrodome field. And as soon as I walked out on the field, I maybe was there for 30 seconds. Here comes Johan Santana and Przynski and
Denny Hawking.
Wasn't Denny Hawking? There was a third guy.
Denny was upset.
Oh, I thought it was just Przynski. There's more. Okay.
Yeah. I was surrounded, Josh.
I didn't know that.
And they got all over me about what was said, and I was like, well, guys, maybe it was said, but it wasn't me. I wasn't on there. And it took about 2 minutes of discussion. Then they were fine. They walked away, and that was it. But I remember, I think I called Josh or something right after it happened and said, what the heck did you guys say that got me into this mess?
Okay.
And that is the worst thing. I mean, honestly, I have to be honest, my knees were shaking a little bit. Because
mine would
I've
too.
never had, those are guys that I have to cover on a daily basis. And if I had said something that I shouldn't have, I would have owned up to it and apologized. But
Right.
I honestly didn't know what they were upset about.
Now that we're discussing this story in detail, now I do remember the A.J. Przynski thing, but here's the problem. I think all we said was, some of these guys are good-looking guys. You can understand that women would be attracted to them. Now, hang on. I remember this now.
I think it was a little bit more specific than that.
No, it was not, Randy. All that was said was we can see how women might flock to a guy like A.J. Przynski.
Okay.
They took it as if we were saying A.J. cheats on his wife and this guy. They overreacted.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell Randy Shaver.
I'm sure you're right, and you are right. They did overreact for sure.
I know I don't have to. Hang on, Brad Ryder.
Yeah.
I know I don't have to tell Randy Shaver or Brad Ryder or Janel Klein that pro athletes can be the most sensitive people on planet Earth. Their egos are so fragile, it is ridiculous. That's how this became a thing, is because they're fragile people.
I've never heard this.
It's always misconstrued or somebody told, because this has happened, something similar with 3 of the big 4 teams in town. I mean, we've talked so many times about Stefan Veilleux at the Wild. It was a complete misunderstanding.
They think they're hearing something that's not there.
Yeah. And it was just, the Veilleux thing was crazy because it was like someone listened to the show, said something to the cousin of the girlfriend of Stefan. I mean, it was like
telephone.
Yeah, and it was so wrong. It was so wrong what was said.
Yep.
So I was with the Twins then, and I worked in the PR department. Sean and Mike reported to me that day. I remember that day, too, like it was yesterday. A couple of the players came in our office first, and were all pissed off about it. And then Sean went in the clubhouse to try to smooth things down, and then he came back from the clubhouse and he said, he goes, "We got a problem." And then he said, they want Randy's head. And I said, you need to call him. I said, or I will. I said like that, or one of us has to. And then that's when Sean called you and gave you the heads up. But I want to say, you might have only been encountered by 2, but there were 4 or 5 of those guys that were just really pissed off about it.
Get over it.
Reason.
You know what? Here's the thing.
It's easy for Nick to say, get over it. He wasn't the one that walked down there knowing. It was like I was walking to the gallows.
I might be wrong about this, but I think David Ortiz might have been one of them, too.
No, David Ortiz was not. Trust me, if David Ortiz was in front of me, I'd remember that.
You. I know he didn't approach you, but there was a couple. There were a couple other guys, too. I'm trying to remember.
Doesn't matter.
I wish we would have known ahead time, because then we could ask Randy to get some autographs for us. Those are some big names. Those are some really big names.
David Ortiz.
They were not in the mood.
Oh, they weren't?
David Ortiz has been shady from the word go as well. Nobody's that happy and smiley. David Ortiz is shady.
He's one of the funniest guys I've ever met, though, anyway.
Was he really?
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Randy, I've been in that situation before. I have. Stephon Marbury came after me in the Wolves locker room years ago because he mistook me for somebody else. It was one of the weirdest moments, and but it was also kind of cool that I can say that Kevin Garnett stepped in between us.
That is pretty sweet.
So I can say,
they call you Base.
Yeah.
That was his special pet name for me for a while. But yeah, I was in the Wolves locker room. We had a very brief amount of time here at this radio station where one of our program directors thought that we needed to be going to the locker rooms and getting interviews with these guys. And I had zero interest in it. And the 15, 20 times we went into the Vikings or Twins or Wild or Timberwolves, we got nothing from them.
Right.
So it was a waste of time. But I walked in there, the Wolves locker room, and I was talking to somebody, and I turned my attention to Steph, and I was asking Steph about something, and he says, "Well, why don't you ask me about that garbage you've been saying about me on the radio?" And I said, "Huh?" Because anyone who knows me knows I've been the biggest Wolves fan in town. I never said anything bad about Steph. He thought I was somebody else. And he's getting closer and closer up into my face. And I said, "Dude, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about." And then KG stepped in and said, No, let's not do this, Mm-hmm. So I know how these guys can be. And the thing that I always find cute is, over the years, some of these teams have really sucked eggs. And we continue to talk about them and support them. Then as soon as they become successful, if they hear one thing sideways, they're coming to get you. And they're going to send their Brad Ryder character after you. Go F yourself. You should be thankful we were talking about you for the 5-6 years that you sucked.
Well, the ironic part is a lot of these guys end up working in the media after they're done. After they're done playing. I mean, AJ's one of the top. He's one of the best color commentators they have for Major League Baseball games now. He's good.
So back to this article, onlyinyourstate.com. I'm surprised. I mean, you would have thought one of them would have emailed you something, Randy, and said, "Hey, we got an article coming out about you."
Josh apparently tried, and I never got it. Josh.
They talk about your Prep Sports Extra. They talk about your celebrity golf tournament, which has turned out millions of dollars for cancer treatment.
Oh, that's nice.
They talk about your prostate cancer and your...
They talk about my prostate, too?
Yeah.
They didn't mention the cancer part.
They talk about your kind of
nothing gets sympathy like talking about somebody's prostate.
your iffy induction into the Minnesota Broadcasters Hall of Fame.
Oh yes, thank you. Appreciate
your story last year with Paul Majors.
Oh, okay.
After 40 years, Shaver is a beloved and trusted fixture on televisions in the Twin Cities and throughout the region. I don't have the name of the guy.
Wow.
But, he's also been on a damn wildly successful and influential top-rated frickin' radio show for the last 20-some years. But no one ever mentions a word of it.
Maybe you know it. Trent Jonas is the person that wrote.
I don't know who that is.
You're not familiar?
It's ridiculous. We are probably what caused your prostate cancer.
Do we want credit for that?
Pain in my yes.
But there's no mention of that in the article. I don't know what we've done wrong. They dumped some old pictures in there. There's one of you dressed as a lady.
What?
There is. There's a picture of Randy dressed up as a lady.
Oh, for God's sake.
There's some pictures of you when you were young. One, you look like J.J. Reddick.
Wow.
Dude, studly photos, too, wouldn't you say, Nick?
And another, you look like...
Where is this? What's this called again?
I emailed a different email of yours, your work one.
Oh.
You see, did it pop up there?
Did you do... Oh, yeah, I did, Josh.
And I put a couple of pictures I took special for you as well.
Oh, nice.
In one of them, you look like C. Thomas Hall from The Outsiders. Whenever I see C. Thomas Hall...
Oh, that's me in college. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They stole these off your wife's Facebook page or something like that. Whenever I see old pictures of Randy, you look so much like C. Thomas Hall playing Ponyboy in The Outsiders.
I'll have to read that later.
There you go. So now do you understand what I meant when I said a solid HJ?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I got you. I got you.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. Check it out. See if they got anything wrong in there. And you can sue them if you want. I don't know. Something like that.
Thanks.
No. All right. What else is going on around here? What time? Oh, God, we're already up to that time. We can go ahead and bang out this Pigs update. One game ago, the Pigs looked like the 1970 Russian Red Army hockey team. Then the next night, they got kicked in the nuts by Winnipeg. 6-3. Yeah, so I guess that goes to show you, right, when you think that there might be something, it turns out to be nothing.
Yeah. They're still very much in the thick of this thing, though.
Of course they are.
They have fought their way back to being in the conversation now. So.
Yes, I know.
They're 2 games out of the last spot there,
2
I think.
points.
There they are. There they are. I'm just busting chops. It's just, wow, what a difference that a day can make.
And Winnipeg's good. I mean, obviously give them credit. They're a good hockey team this year.
6-3 was the final.
I thought they were going to make another comeback there when they cut it to 5-3 last night. And there's still plenty of time to do something, but wasn't the case.
Nino Niederreiter scored for the Jets. Remember when everyone in town thought he was the next effing Brett Hull because he had 2 or 3 good games?
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Folks even started calling him El Nino. That just bothered the hell out of me.
That's cute.
Oh, my God. Everybody does. I mean, don't get me wrong. He can play a little bit. I just think a guy needs to at least put together one 30-goal season before you start hanging a nickname like that on him. El Nino. I went nuts with that. They go to Edmonton to play tomorrow night. But okay, how quickly things can change.
Yep.
I read another article calling out the Pigs, saying they should deal Marc-Andre Fleury while they have the chance. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't make any changes right now. You fought your way back to a point where you're within striking range of a final playoff spot.
Right.
And, that's going to be your best bet is to catch St. Louis because the Kings are the other wild card team, and they're 8 points ahead of you. So
I also don't think it's worth mortgaging the future to try to get the 8th spot in the playoffs.
What, trading Marc-Andre Fleury would be mortgaging the future? What is that? What do you mean by that?
Well, I just don't. I agree with Randy. I don't think they should do a lot at this point. If they sneak in, they sneak in. But
it depends on who you are, I guess. I mean, he is about the only card you could play if you want to try to trade.
Yeah, because he's not 5 years into your future. He's not a guy that's going to be around 5 years from now for his club. So,
but you could trade for a couple guys that will be here.
When is the trading deadline for
that? I don't have in front of me.
I think it's early March. No, it's coming up, I think.
Okay.
They say teams like Colorado, Los Angeles, and Edmonton may not need a starter, but could use a safety net and a strong backup option. They could be interested in such a thing.
Friday, March 8th is the trade deadline.
Okay, thanks.
I mean, I like Marc-Andre Fleury, but I think if you can get a couple of young kids,
well, I mean,
isn't this team kind of short on assets?
It is right now, yes. I mean,
and Gustafson's been playing great.
Who, old Phil?
Yeah.
Word? I don't know.
I mean, going into the playoffs, that's really what you need is a hot goalie.
That's what they say.
Can really keep you in there.
What else is going on? Boy, Foligno's got to be pissed. They had that jersey auction that we were talking about with him last week.
Yes. How did he end up doing?
Yeah, he didn't do so well.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. He lost out to some guys that...
Well, maybe one of the reasons why is he's been hurt, and so he's not really maybe in the front of everybody's mind.
Well, I'm joking. I'm sure he doesn't care. This big fundraiser, we were busting his balls saying, you better make more money on this jersey auction than this guy and the other guy and the other guy.
Yeah. He said he was going to buy his own, right?
Yeah, he said he's going to try and just jack up the price.
He got on the phone, and we heard him pick up the phone to make a phone call. Speaking of Marc-Andre Fleury, this was the jerseys they wore on Marc-Andre Fleury night, and we're auctioning them off for charity. Hey, Mark made $1,576 on his sweater. Jesus, the Fleury sweater went for $10,000.
Whew.
Russian kid only made $2,500. So all the money went to Fleury. So there you go. What else is going on? Like I said, they play Edmonton on Friday. Oh, God. Saturday night, they play at the completely unnecessary Seattle Kraken. It's totally unnecessary. But they got a cool thing coming up. And we'll close out our Pigs update with this. They got a cool thing coming up. Thursday, March 14th, starting at 10 a.m. Now, there's a game that night. But during the day, there's something called the Hiring Our Heroes Hiring Expo. And it's a hands-on career planning event designed to connect members of the local military with military-ready employers, is how they say it. A lot of companies hanging out with jobs available for veterans, military spouses of all ranks and level of experience. And if you're one of the first 125 people to show up, you get to a pair of tickets to the game that night against the Ducks.
Is it being hosted at the hockey arena? Is that why
yep.
Yeah. And the Ducks are coming to town. Are they going to bring that duck?
I hope so.
Or, I mean, the duck...
Wasn't it a Minnesota duck?
Yeah.
So it might be here.
It's not like the duck is in California, really with his Ducks jersey on and his, Scott Niederreiter foam finger or whatever. The duck lives... What's that duck's name again? He lives here in Minnesota, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago. He's an internet sensation. Whenever the Ducks win a game, they put a video of this duck up there wearing his gear, and he's drumming on a drum with his webbed feet.
Is it Ben Afquack?
It is Ben Afquack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say that again, Janelle.
Ben Afquack.
Ben Afquack. Mm-hmm. That's him. Maybe he'll show up and call out the Let's Play Hockey.
Do you know we used to work with the Aflac guy?
That's so cool.
Did the Aflac
really?
With the goose or whatever the thing is?
I did not know this.
Is that a duck? What is that thing? Whatever that thing is.
I think he's a duck.
He was the Aflac guy.
I thought when you said that you meant Ben Affleck.
No.
A dude we used to work with.
Much cooler.
Yeah.
The Affleck.
The guy who did the voice for the Aflac duck after Gilbert Gottfried.
Yes, after him.
Minnesota Wild update again. Thank you to the folks from Luther Kia of Bloomington for helping us out. Yeah, that was frustrating, really, honestly. I liked the guy, but it was frustrating. They handed him a big truckload of money because he said Aflac.
He beat out a lot of other guys.
That pissed me off. He didn't have that coming to him. Well, I guess he did. A tornado almost killed him. Maybe he was owed that. Right? Wasn't he the guy? His house fell on him during a tornado.
That was quite the journey right there.
Yeah.
It's true. He woke up with his front door on top of him.
Oh, scary.
Yeah. Maybe I guess he did have that break coming in life. Tornado sucked up the whole neighborhood but him.
He sent us a nice email a couple weeks back.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Dan?
Yeah.
He's all right. He's all right, that Dan. Randy, is your fly still going up and down like a window shade over the beginning of baseball season?
Well, I'm certainly paying attention to a lot of things, yes. I love this time of year. I love
spring training.
I love hot stove. I love the conversation. I love all the trades and the signings, free agents.
Okay, can anyone explain to me this uniform controversy? I don't understand what's going on here. Does anyone have a finger on the pulse of this big league uniform controversy?
I saw a tweet about it, but I don't understand it either.
There's a company called Phonetics that's basically kind of cornered the market in terms of jerseys that you can buy in stores. And
Did you mean to say Fanatics?
Yeah, did I say Phonetics?
You did say Phonetics.
Yes.
Fanatics.
Fanatics.
Yes.
Okay,
Fanatics.
go ahead.
And the quality of the jerseys is very, very shoddy. They're very thin. They're almost like paper thin. They're not actually stitched the way jerseys used to be.
These are the jerseys that the players will be wearing every game.
The players will be wearing every game, and the jerseys you can buy in stores. And they're very, very cheaply made, but cost a lot of money, and the quality is just awful.
It sounds similar to the jerseys they hand out for you getting there early. You know,
yes. Like a giveaway type jersey.
Yeah, they're almost like an athletic fit jersey that, kind of sticks to their body really, really thin.
Okay, so the players are beefing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a big deal. I mean, what are they supposed to do? Fanatics supposed to call it off? I mean, they can't do that. I'm guessing they've signed a contract.
Yeah. They're kind of stuck.
Stuck.
And the thing that I like about the baseball jerseys is a lot of them, they have the raised numbers and they're sewn, the player's name and the numbers are kind of sewn onto the jersey.
Yep.
These ones are just going to be kind of printed on there.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah.
I would have thought they'd be more involved, the players. Like, hey, what do you think of this? You guys like this?
Well, I'm surprised Major League Baseball okayed all that.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have had to seen the prototype as to what they were getting. That just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Aren't they outrageously expensive, like over $400 for fans
What?
to buy?
Are you serious?
That's what I thought.
We're talking about a replica jersey costing $400.
That's
way.
insane.
The team jerseys.
The authentic one.
Yeah.
Oh, I can believe they'd be somewheres in that neighborhood.
Wow.
I can believe that.
Yeah, an authentic Twins jersey on the Fanatics website goes for $429.99.
Oh my
my
gosh, and the numbers aren't even sewn on.
Lick
That's
me
stupid.
down.
Reminds me of that Seinfeld episode where George decides to go all cotton with the Yankee uniform.
Never saw it, Seinfeld.
Never? Okay.
Speaking of baseball, some folks thought this was cute. They're still in Los Angeles, right? The Rams?
Yeah.
Yes.
They announced a new hiring, a new coach, and his name is Chili Davis. So
The Rams, not the Rams.
Yeah. The Los Angeles Rams have hired a new
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
You see where they're going with that?
Yep.
It's a dude who just happens to have the same name as
Wow.
3-time World Series champion, 1-time Twins World Series champion, baseball player Chili Davis.
Yeah.
So everyone put the same joke up online and put the same video of Chili Davis playing baseball saying, well, this isn't going to work. They're a football team. How's that? I can't believe it. Chili Davis, of course, a member of that 91 team. I heard from somebody who knows something about something that there was nobody that could drink more beer than Chili Davis.
Well, I think Don Mattingly would argue with that.
Or Wade Boggs.
You mean Wade Boggs?
Wade Boggs, yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, what I meant to say was on the Twins roster from that 91 team, nobody could touch Chili Davis. Some of you might be saying, Herbeck? They say he could curb stomp Herbeck. This is somebody who used to hang around with those guys back in those days. But yeah, Wade Boggs, he's got the ultimate story. 64 Miller Lights in one day.
Insane.
I don't know how a body can allow that to happen.
I thought I heard that was on one charter flight.
Yeah, I've heard the story so many times, and there's different versions, but it wasn't the most prominent story of Wade Boggs, the most common story of Wade Boggs' 64 beers in one day. It started in the clubhouse, as they're packing for a trip to Seattle. You see what I'm saying, Brad Ryder?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just on the plane, and then they get off the plane, they go to dinner, and then they went to a strip joint. Whatever. It's that's a story some folks are still sticking with. 64 beers in one day for Wade Boggs.
There's an episode
that's a Tuesday in Faribault.
Yes, Janelle. Who still holds the all-time record?
I wonder who holds the record in Faribault. Anyone want to call in and tell us?
Somebody will know.
Somebody will know.
They're too drunk to be up this early.
I would guess, Janelle, the answer from our listening audience is going to be one of our mothers. That's the route they usually take. I don't even know what else is going on here. This is really odd. The University of Northwestern Football Club over there in Chicago. They're planning to play a home game in front of an away crowd. According to some dork that covers Northwestern's football club, they're going to play one of their regular season games this upcoming football season. They're going to play one of their regular season home games at wildly overrated Lambeau Field.
Oh, interesting.
So it's expected, of course, that all the Wisco clowns will buy up all the tickets, so it'll be Northwestern playing technically a home game in
Are they playing Wisconsin?
Didn't I say that?
Oh no.
Sorry.
Maybe I missed it.
They are expected to be playing Wisconsin, which of course leads you to believe
that makes sense.
Right.
Interesting.
So
they gave up a home game to go to Lambeau to play the Badgers in the game.
Right.
Wow.
Here's what I understand. Their ballpark there, Northwestern's ballpark, is under construction. They need to find...
Oh, okay.
Have you ever been there before, Nick?
No, but I've been right in the neighborhood.
The old one? Yeah. I mean, it's nothing to shout about.
It looks like a high school park.
It does.
Yeah.
It's kind of cozy, but yeah.
My sister-in-law lives about 2 blocks from their ballpark, and we went and visited her.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, a handful of months ago. That's where Big Lou lives now, in case anyone's curious about my old cat, Big Lou.
Always.
And he texts me pictures of him wearing all Northwestern gear and whatnot. Yeah, he's being a dick about it. Suddenly, he's a big Wildcat fan. He's telling me all these stories about Denny Green. And I said, dude, you lived in Minnesota. He disregards that altogether. Now he's number one Northwestern fan. Yeah, so their ballpark is garbage. They're tearing it down. They can't play there for a stretch of time because it's under construction. So the Wildcats are essentially giving up a home game to play at Lambeau Field.
Well, if you're giving up a home game, what a great venue to play in. Lambeau.
According
they
to
they may also be thinking about this from a financial standpoint, thinking, okay, if that's our home gate, we're going to collect all the money off of these Wisconsin people.
Did they get a cut of that beer money, Brad Ryder?
Yeah, absolutely.
If they get a cut of the beer money, look for Northwestern to have, speaking of uniforms, they'll have brand new gear next year. Is Mr. Big here yet, Josh?
I don't see anybody at the door. You're expecting them any moment now?
So it's possibly for the first time in my life I'll be wrong?
Yeah, I think so.
No, you were just mistaken. You weren't wrong.
Thanks, Brad Ryder. I thought for sure they were playing a joke on us, and those sumbitches would walk in with acoustic guitars and sing Wild World to Josh, or Ain't Seen Love Like That to Josh, or what's another one of their acoustic songs? Super Fantastic. I said it already.
Oh, I like Super Fantastic.
Everything is beautiful. Well, okay, maybe I was wrong for the very first time. Oh, before we get out of here, though, gentlemen and ladies, we talked a little bit about the Daytona 500. The Daytona 500. I watched it. I mean, I wasn't, on the edge of my seat. I had it on in the background, but I didn't realize this when we were talking about it yesterday. So William Byron wins the race. His teammate Alex Bowman comes in second. I think I have that correct. And NASCAR fans are pissed because Byron and Bowman, I guess, caused the 2 big crashes, but yet they finished 1 and 2. You see where I'm going with that?
Sure, yeah.
The 2 cars responsible for wrecking the majority of the field went on to finish 1 and 2 in the biggest race of the year, and fans are not happy. Now, for me personally, that kind of makes me fans of those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You like Denny Hamlin then, huh?
Is he a crash starter?
Oh, everyone hates him. He's the guy that always throws his helmet, too. He takes off his helmet and throws it at the cars as they're driving by.
Yeah, I like that. That's why I like the Busch brothers so
and
much.
Then he always gets in people's faces, like Austin Dillon. He'll get in his face if he crashes into him. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
he's a hothead.
I'm cool with that. Byron and Bowman caused all the crashes, and then hey, here we are together at the finish line. That's fun. I mean, that's
racing.
NASCAR should sell that. You know, I think they might be struggling a little bit compared to past years. They should kind of sell that. Hey, there's a couple guys in the lineup who are going to try to wipe the other sumbitches out. Tune in on Sunday.
I can't wait for Martinsville and Bristol with these two.
Yeah, turn it into bumper cars, you know. Dummy down the speed a little bit so guys aren't dying left and right, and turn it into bumper cars. So there you go.
It's just a derby out there.
Yeah, why not? All right, Randy and Brad, did you guys get the information, and this is serious, that since Josh and I are going to get so hammered tonight at Mr. Big that we will not be putting on a morning show tomorrow?
That's what I heard, yes.
Josh going to get into the beer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Nick's going to show me how to hold one. I'm going to drink it.
And
how about half of it? I'll drink half of it.
Use a straw.
Like a man. Yeah.
Right.
And then he will get, Janel Klein, does he get sentimental when he gets drunk?
Hey, do you think I might get drunk dialed tonight?
Well, it's usually directed towards Nick.
Yeah.
I beg him to sit on his lap. And
if he can take his attention off me for a few minutes, you might get a phone call. But there you go.
I'll send you a nice text.
Thanks
Randy
John.
and Brad,
have fun tonight, boys.
Thank you
very
so
much.
much. We will talk to you two on Friday, but we're going to have more with Jupiter Jane here in a few minutes if you stick around.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.
On the Bigger Pockets Real Estate Podcast, co-hosts David Green and Rob Abasolo interview real estate investors and entrepreneurs about successes, failures, and hard-earned lessons. Joined by author Dave Meyer.
Who wrote a book? I did write a book. It seems like you're coming out with a book every 4 minutes. You are one to talk. You've released 2 books this year. I've done half as many as you. It is more about strategy than it is about just finding whatever the new buzzword happens to be.
Bigger Pockets Real Estate Podcast on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
Oh, no.
What?
What do you mean, what? What did I say?
You said, oh, no.
Oh, yeah, because we're back live.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to give us a heads up on that.
It is 8:30 in the morning, Wednesday. You're listening to the 93X Half-Fast Morning Show and our special guest in studio, Janel Klein. I'll tell you what, it's good to see you again, Janelle. It always is.
Good to see you guys.
You know, the Mr. Big show in town tonight prompted us to talk about concerts earlier today.
Yes.
You want in on that trash talk, Janelle?
I'm happy to. I don't have a lot of material, although I just told Ashley and Wappel I went to my first concert last week in a long time.
What was last week? Where were you at? Give us the name of the joint.
I was at the XL Energy Center in St. Paul for Madonna.
Oh, how is she nowadays?
She's unbelievable.
Really?
I don't know how old she is. She sounds great. She looks great.
You went off. I'd forgotten all about that.
Yeah.
I had heard people going back and forth about the matern. Matern isn't a word. Matern. What I meant to say was the return of Madonna.
Yeah.
And then forgot all about it. Was it just sold smooth out?
I don't know. My friend texted me.
How do you not know if it was sold out?
Well, I mean, it probably was. It looked full.
Oh.
You know, I don't know. It was, I don't know. But anyway, she texted me. Her husband was begging not to go. And I was like, sure, I'll go. But I was telling these guys, I'm sure you guys heard about this. I have never had an experience like this. It was easily 90 degrees in that.
She requested to be over 80 degrees in the arena.
It was bonkers.
Well, she is 65, right?
Maybe
And
that's
sometimes
it.
old people are cold.
I guess.
Come on, she wouldn't go on unless she cranked the heat up beyond 80
I
degrees.
guess. And we were up high enough that it was like we were getting the heat coming up. I'd
be miserable.
Dying.
Yeah.
Dying.
That kind of ruins it for me.
And doesn't she go on very late, too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's notorious for that.
What time did she go on the stage?
So the show was at 8:30. She did not go on until like 10:15. So I got home at like 1:30.
She was scheduled to begin or at 8:30.
At 8:30, yeah.
And so what happened between 8:30 and 10, whatever?
Well, there was, like house music, yeah,
That's
whatever.
it.
Yeah.
Were they making announcements like, hey, coming up in 2 hours?
Good Lord.
They didn't make any announcements?
I don't think so. I mean, we were like out having drinks in the concourse, and we didn't sit in like the furnace the whole time waiting for her.
That is funny that you went because your friend's husband begged not to go.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to see Madonna.
She's great.
I would never buy tickets, I don't.
Right.
But if somebody said, hey,
Yeah.
will you take this?
Yeah.
I'd see her. She's a
She's
legend.
really good.
I mean, she was massive
Oh, yeah.
for so long, and then it seems as if for so long we didn't hear a word from her.
Yeah.
Which I totally understand. Why would you? If I were Madonna, I'd never go on tour ever again. What the hell do you need that for?
I wouldn't either.
And she's not alone. There's a lot of bands where I go, what the hell are you guys still doing here?
I know.
I wouldn't have considered this, but Loan Officer Jesus says the temperatures for her vocal cords.
Oh,
helps
is
her
that what
perform
it
better.
was? Okay.
I don't know. I mean, they're sure.
Well, I guess sound travels better when it's warm
That
versus
must have
the
been
cold. So
that must have been pretty cool. I mean, I never was wildly into her music. There was a stretch of time where every time I saw her on television, she developed a new foreign accent.
Yes, she's done that a few times.
I don't remember that.
She's a little squirrely, I think. But I bet that would be. She pumped out all the hits with the Like a Virgin and the
Yes.
Material Girl and the.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Vogue?
it.
Did you Vogue?
I don't think she sang Vogue.
Oh, really?
What? I don't know. I'd have to go look at the
The
set
Papa,
list.
He Don't Preach, and the.
Yes.
she's like the OG Lady Gaga.
That's exactly what she is. So I'm not this massive fan or anything, but you go to someone who's been around that long, you know every song. I don't care if you're a fan or not. You just do.
She had hit upon hit upon
Yes,
hit.
She did.
Oh, I bet that was so much fun.
It was good.
When I saw, oh my gosh, Billy Joel. I saw
Yeah.
Billy Joel with some
Yeah.
friends. That's one of those where I probably wouldn't have gone on my own, but some friends wanted to go. I was
Yep.
surprised how many Billy Joel songs I knew.
Exactly. Yep.
Material. I already said that one. Lucky Star.
Lucky Star.
That was her first big single, I believe. The song that there were two songs as a 13, 14-year-old boy where the songs were catchy. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
and also she was just in the 13, 14-year-old me. I just could not even fathom how sexy she was, and that was the video for Borderline.
Okay.
And the live video for, I can't even talk about this one, Dress You Up.
Oh, okay.
She is so jiggly in that video. It makes, as an 8th grade kid, I couldn't even believe. And I was no innocent kid at that point. I'd seen some things. But the way she came off in that video. So that.
She's still hot.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen pictures and it didn't look good. Maybe they were photoshopped or something. They were really bad plastic surgery.
She didn't look like that
maybe
in
they
person.
fixed it.
And I mean, she's so fit. She's ripped.
Yeah.
She's really in shape. She can dance still. I mean,
Was it all real? The vocals and everything, because that's something. I mean, not trying to be disrespectful to Madonna, but you have to ask that no matter who you go see now. Was it all real?
Who knows?
Especially like the ones that dance a lot.
Right,
they're the ones that get accused
that's
of
true. Yeah.
having a lot of recorded
It sounded good. I don't know what the magic was.
Did it sound too good?
I wouldn't say that.
You got style. That's what all the girls say. That's the opening line to Dress You Up.
I don't listen to lyrics too much, but the other day I was listening to our sister station, Love 105, which is a fantastic station.
It is good. Yeah.
And they were playing Like a Prayer by Madonna.
Yeah.
Is that about oral sex? It's the first time I listened to the lyrics, and I turned to my wife and like, is she talking about a BJ and a song with prayer in the title?
I can't remember, but I think you're right.
Oh, I was shocked. I got to start paying attention to this stuff.
You've been missing out.
Yeah.
Of all those hits, look that up. Look that up. Is that
I'm down on my knees. I want to take you there.
In the midnight hour, I can feel your power.
Yeah, that's about dumping dome.
Oh, my childhood has been scarred.
There's one Madonna song from back in the 80s, and I haven't followed anything at all since 1990. That could cover thousands of different subjects. I didn't follow Madonna into the 90s like I didn't follow a lot of things into the 90s, but if there's one Madonna song that I will listen to it in its entirety every time it comes on the radio or anytime I cross paths with it, it's Live to Tell. That is a beautiful, wonderfully put together song from a not so great movie, but it's still, what was the name of that movie? Christopher Walken, Christopher Penn, and Sean Penn. It was called Stepdad is a Douchebag. Anybody, can you help me out with that? Stepdad is a violent douchebag. It was, someone could come up with it. Live to Tell. What soundtrack is that off of?
I think she did sing that last week.
That's a great effing song.
I mean, she's got a lot of really good songs.
And I think that was one where it was like written for Stevie Nicks or something, and Stevie Nicks says, I'm not going to sing. There's some other big 80s female, and Madonna said, I'll take it, and it turned into a massive thing.
Is it called At Close Range?
At Close Range. That's right, the movie.
I haven't heard of that one.
Oh, really?
Is it good or bad?
It's okay. It's Christopher Walken.
I love Christopher Walken
and Sean Penn, and it's decent. Well, that's a great story. Went and saw Madonna.
I wish it could go to more concerts. It's kind of like what you guys are saying. It's, it's hard to pull off when you have to be up early a lot and work is weird, whatever, but it's fun. I miss it.
What was her movie?
Madonna?
Yeah. My brother had it on VHS and he wore the sumbitch out.
Like her, just the one about her?
Yeah, well, she's touring and she takes her top off once and it was massive.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name either. Let's see.
And she has problems with her boyfriends, and someone should be able to text that.
Is it Body of Evidence?
No. Not a movie she was acting.
Truth or Dare?
Yeah, Truth or Dare. Truth or Dare.
Boy, she's been in a lot of movies. I didn't realize she was in this many movies.
You guys are, some of you are too young, but when that came out, the live concert, Madonna on tour movie, Truth or Dare, that was big. Who bought her book? I think her book was just called Sex.
Yeah, there's a lot of boobies in it, I heard.
Yeah, I did not buy the book, but I know what you're talking about.
I mean, again, she was such a big deal that, this is, I guess, something I did follow from Madonna in the 90s. At some point in the early 90s, she had this picture book where it's just her naked in damn near every picture. And I remember getting a phone call one night saying, what are you doing tonight? And I said, I don't know, probably nothing. Well, we're all going over to Pistol Pete from across the street's place. We're going to drink some beer. And I said, I don't know. I just saw Pistol Pete from across the street a couple nights ago. I don't need to go over there again. And then the person on the other end of the line said, he went out and bought the Madonna book, Sex, and I said, I'll be there in 20 minutes.
Well, I remember the controversy around that, the news stories about, can you believe she did this?
But you're right. She was Lady Gaga before Lady Gaga.
I remember in middle school, girls dressing up like Madonna. We had one girl that actually kind of looked like her.
Is that right?
Whoa. Yeah, in 7th grade.
There were people at the concert dressed up like her.
Oh, were there really?
Yeah.
That's been a thing with her fans forever. They put on kind of that material girl type 80s outfit, right?
Yep.
Okay, here's someone who claims to have been at the show. Maybe you were in the ladies' room or something, Janelle, because we were questioning, like we would question any artist, was it all legit? Did they use the backing vocals and the lip syncing? Someone says Madonna fell off. She fell on stage and started laughing, and the singing kept going even though she wasn't singing.
Wasn't that at the Seattle show?
That's what I thought. I don't know.
Unless it's a reoccurring bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Sorry, they didn't distinctly say this show that Janelle just saw. They just said a show. I assumed they meant the show that was here in town.
Yeah, I read a story saying that happened in Seattle.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of things happen in Seattle.
I've heard.
Wow.
At close range. I'm going to have to put that on a watch list.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
I like those guys.
Yeah.
What song are you guys most excited about tonight? Like, is there one song that you're in love with, or do you just love this band?
That's tough.
Yeah.
There's so many I can't... maybe Green Tinted 60s Mind, Addicted to That Rush. I mean, I don't know.
Green Tinted 60s Mind is just so beautifully put together.
Oh, Baba O'Reilly?
They play the
cover.
The Who cover.
Yeah.
They're playing their entire record, Lean Into It. They're playing that record in its entirety, and that album is just top to bottom outstanding. But if you ask me to name one, I think their best song, Mr. Big, their best song is Alive and Kickin' off that Lean Into It record. So I'd say that one, Janelle.
I'm gonna put it on in my car when I leave here. I don't know any of their songs.
I bet you'd like some of them.
Probably.
My wife isn't a fan of rock music, and she likes Mr. Big.
Okay.
But before we leave this break, play a little bit of that for Janelle. Whatever.
Which one? Alive and Kickin'?
Alive and Kickin'.
Yes.
You like that one, Ashley?
That's my favorite by far.
They're so damn good. That's the one.
The breakdown in that is so cool.
You know what I'm saying.
Do you want the Live in Indonesia version?
No, I want to hear the studio.
The original?
Studio.
All right, here we go.
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Assed Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Eric Martin, Billy Sheehan, and Paul Gilbert to the studio.
So what do you think, Janelle?
They're good.
You guys didn't surprise us with an in-studio visit?
I wish.
You like that one, huh?
Is there any chance you guys can, go up to the stage and, I don't know, get an autograph or shake their hands or nothing?
No.
Anything?
We're going to be too dorky.
Yeah, that's true.
They're going to see me in Cubby's face and say, here's the two biggest dorks in this town.
Isn't it fun to see them that happy, Janelle?
I was just thinking that. I just want to go stand in the back and watch you two have fun.
Well, I agree, Janelle. Paul Gilbert is so clean on those really fast runs, and his bends are out of control.
His bends are out of control.
Just listen to the vibrato on those. I'm going to flash him tonight.
Really?
Yep. I hope they have a boob cam like Tommy Lee.
Oh, buckle up, St. Paul.
Josh is throwing his pair of whitey tighties on stage.
That would be something to see. Wear some clean ones at least.
Did you guys check out the set list?
Yep.
Of course.
Well, they're playing all of Lean Into It. I just wanted to see what else they're going to play. Ashley, I'm excited you're going.
I'm really pumped.
That'll be a nice.
I'm excited
surprise.
to get your money. I had some tickets I wanted to get rid of, and Ashley and her boyfriend pounced on the deal. I'm very appreciative.
I appreciate it.
There's some questions coming in. Are we coming back on the air Friday? I don't know, maybe.
The plan is to be back on Friday.
But we are taking tomorrow off, and it's really cool. What's really cool, we've been pumping these Mr. Big shows in anticipation of the show tonight. We've gotten text messages from people saying, I had no idea.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
And saying, what record, where do I get their music? I love this. It's great. This is exactly what we were going for.
Have you guys seen them in person before?
Twice.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
And they're, in my top 2 or 3 favorite bands.
Really?
Number one for a long time. It kind of, depends on who's got a new album out between them. But I can't believe I've never seen them.
You know what? What they've always done so well is end a song. They just know how to. They don't have the boring fade, you know what I mean? They know how to end a song by kicking you in the friggin' seeds. Check this out. Colorado Bulldog's a good example. The ending, it's just so bad. Here it is. I mean, doesn't that hit everyone right in their genitals?
Not the best Jesus, he's not a fan. Just give us this one day and then again on Friday to play some Mr. Big. That's all we're asking.
Who's talking trash?
The best Jesus is not a fan. That's all right.
No.
Just give us a couple days. That's all we're asking.
I'm going to block his number. And then what? Now I don't have to deal with him anymore.
Go Bison.
I don't even remember what you said his name was. Blocked.
Go Bison Jesus is going to be at the show tonight. Yeah, I'd love to run into folks. If you're going to be at the show tonight, that'd be fun to kind of catch up and talk about how good they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Janelle was telling us about that Madonna concert that she went to a week or so ago, and you loved it.
It was good.
We never got around to asking you, because you've seen some things in your day. Who was the worst band you ever saw?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. But I don't go to a ton of concerts, you guys.
No, I know.
I barely ever go, but...
I know. I just thought maybe there was some garbage pile that...
I don't know. You know what? I will say this. I think about this every once in a while because I'm such a horrible singer. There was a job I did like maybe 5 years ago at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, and Kelly Clarkson was there, and she was doing, I don't know if it was just the anthem or if she was doing something else. Anyway.
Take it easy, Cubby.
I'm just very interested to hear what you have to say
I
here.
didn't know you were a fan. But anyway, so we had to go into the football arena. We were doing some rehearsals or something, and she was there doing her sound check. I have never heard a voice like that. I mean, no music at all. A cappella, she's doing her sound check. She has a voice and is unbelievable.
Josh is a big fan.
She can sing anything.
Oh my gosh.
She has the voice of an angel.
She seriously does.
I'm glad to hear. I thought you were going to go the other way.
No.
I know, I was afraid to.
No.
Come on, this is Josh's day. Don't ruin it.
Have you seen her, Josh?
No, I have not.
Oh my God. I don't know if she tours.
I'll be honest. I think she's a very talented singer. I don't see myself going to a show.
No?
No.
Well, I mean, like you said, she can sing anything. I don't know. I don't know her music. I just know she's awesome. So
She's on tour right now.
Is she?
Yeah.
Josh?
You want to go?
Let's go.
The only thing she has left is in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
We could do some gambling.
There
you
you
and me.
go. Little casino run.
Yeah, how about it?
I think one day you'll find yourself at a Kelly Carlson. Which one is it?
Clarkson.
Clarkson. I think you'll find yourself at one of those shows one day, Josh. Here's a message, text message. Why don't you guys play this kind of music all the time on your morning show? Because our boss is a dick.
He's not a dick.
We got that settled now?
He is not a dick.
Boss is a dick. We got to get the hell out of here. And for real, we are not putting on a morning show tomorrow because this is such a special night for Josh and I to go out to St. Paul and see Mr. Big. So we didn't want anything to get in the way of what is very likely their last show here in town. So thanks for your patience, everybody, hearing us go on and on and on. It won't be the last morning show where we go on and on and on about things like this. By far, it won't be the last. But our plan is to come back Friday and talk all about it. Janelle, we appreciate you always.
I loved it, and I can't wait to hear all about this. I'm going to picture you two serenading each other to be with you tonight. It's going to make me so happy.
I'm a terrible singer, and Josh is even worse. But I don't think it's a long shot that we would be singing back and forth.
But I make up for it by also being a very bad dancer.
Not a good dancer.
Shout out to Scene Clean Jesus. He wants to wish his other half, Scene Clean Jesus, a happy birthday today, and also to remind her how lucky she is to be married to a younger man. Happy Mr. Big Day to everyone else, and as Nick mentioned, we'll see you again on Friday.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.